Okay, we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to Unlimited Freedom Network. This is Vaughn with the Unlimited Freedom Network. Going live to talk about a situation with Novatech, a team meeting that happened. I know that I do not have the best connection here, but I want to go over some of my commentary about this meeting. And also to play the audio, at least to try to play the audio. Right. So I want to at least try to play the audio and, at that point, see if you can hear it. Hello, Renee. Let me go over here and I'm going to push play on this. Let me know if you can hear the audio. Can anybody hear the video that I just played? Could anybody hear the audio? Not hearing it? Okay. Let me try something else. Okay, no worries, guys. Bear with me for 1 second.
My speaker is able to pick up everything that I'm saying, but excited to be here. It's like a family reunion, right? I mean, it's 1,000 people on here, and 1,000. Oh, there's a reason why there's 1,000 people on here, and I think if we could hold 5,000 or 10,000 people, we'd probably have that many people on here right now because of some amazing things that we've been able to do together, as a family, and with everybody being.
Okay, what about that? Did that pick up at all? You guys hear that at all? I'm not in the studio right now, so I don't have very, very kind of quality sound. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to go ahead and crack into this. And basically what I want to do, feel free to drop me comments and everything in the chat. What I want to do is I want to get through this real quick. And then after we get through this and my commentary on this, I will go through and, we'll read your guys' comments. So let me first get through kind of the commentary on this, and we'll go from there.
Here, I think it's really important. It actually reminds me of, getting together and having a family meeting at my house, with my mom and my brothers and sisters. We don't do it often enough. As a matter of fact, usually the only time that we get together is when we want to talk about some challenges that we're having. And, before we get into, everything that we're here to talk about, I think it's really important because a lot of people may poke fun at this, especially people that are on the outside looking in. But as God-fearing people, I think it's really important that we take a moment to just pray and give thanks to God to be able to be on this particular call right now, because there's a lot of people, and there are several within our organization that could not be with us today. Okay, so let's first be grateful for God's mercy, because none of us are deserving to even be in the position that we are in right now, but we are in it, and we want to be grateful for that. So, with that being said, I don't want to be superly over religious here, because there may be some that don't believe in the God Almighty, but at the same time, I still want to pray, for every single soul on here, so that obviously, God has put me in a position to be a messenger, one of the many messengers actually in this company. And I'm sorry, somebody just called my phone. Okay, perfect. And, I'm going to tell you, you got to be very careful what you ask for, especially when you believe in the Almighty, because he's truly going to always give you exactly what it is that you asked for. And I truly asked to be that messenger, because I truly believe, like so many leaders on this call, what our company Novatech stands for, and still believe to this day. So I want to be the first to tell you that everything that we're going to share with you is our perspective. All right. A lot of it will.
Okay, so still going through with the introduction. I want to point out one thing here. God is definitely not going to give you everything you ask for, right? That would be a disaster. In fact, I don't think that there's, and I know that DAP is a Christian, and a lot of the Novatech people are Christian, and we're gonna hear a lot of spirituality. We're gonna hear a lot of Christianity. We're gonna hear a lot of their belief in this message. But what I want to do is I want to jump in when during points on here that I have to say, okay, wait a minute, hold on, let's think about this. Okay, and this is one of those guys. God, listen, guys. I think it's pretty clear in the Bible or in any other, religious texts. God doesn't give people everything that they ask for, right? There's, there is the word no. I mean, sometimes he says no, right? So we're gonna see that they're gonna be talking a lot about how this is God's baby and things of that nature. And what I want to point out right here at the beginning is that when we get outside of the actual word, and we get outside of actually what's written down in the Bible, when we get outside of the actual word and we start talking about God told me this and God told me that and God said this and God said that and this is God's and I believe God is going to do this. Hey, man, show me where that is in the word. Okay, I'm fine. Hey, if it's in the word, okay, I'm good with you. I will go along with it. Show me where it is in the word. But if you're going like outside of the word and you're starting to talk about like kind of crazy, what you believe, like, okay, God told me to go and, I don't know, whatever, go to the mall and stand on top of the mall for 10 hours or something like that. Okay, where is that in the word? Okay, where's that in the word? And you might wonder, well, where does it say in the word that God won't give you everything you ask for? Well, I think one of the main places is when Jesus Christ actually prayed to God that he wouldn't have to go to the cross. He said, hey, if possible, Father, let this cup pass from me. If possible, let me not have to do this. However, not my will, but yours be done. And guess what? The answer was, no, kid, you got to do it, right? That's why you're here. The answer is no. You said, please, if possible, don't make me have to do this. The answer, no. That's not possible. You're going to have to do it. Okay, let's continue.
Our opinion on what is transpiring, what has happened, and what we feel will be the end result, all right, which will be positive for each and every one of us, all right? We're not Novatech, even though we all, as a body, all 500,000 of us make up what Novatech is. We have to all understand and be respectful that nobody here presses a button. No one here has collected money from anybody. And we all have put ourselves in the same positions.
There's a legal disclaimer, guys. That's what that was. Okay, what that was is that was just to say, hey, we're not the people collecting the money here, so don't get it twisted, right? And that's basically a legal disclaimer, just like I try to say in my videos and written down in my description. Like, we're trying to say that, hey, we're part of this company, but we're not the that type of language is saying that from that perspective is that we do not want to be held liable.
To win as well as be challenged. All right. So let's start first by saying this. Novatech has already proven that they're real. Their time in this business has proven that. The fact that the corporate members of this company, the owners, are real. All right. They can be touched. All right. They can be heard. And it is very important to know that while we hold Novatech to a certain standard and level, we have to also realize that The business that Novatech is in is extremely risky, and it takes extremely brilliant people of integrity and a higher power and mission to accomplish what they've already accomplished, and more importantly, to overcome what they are currently overcoming. All right?
Okay, so that, the Novatech's ownership can be touched, can be seen, can be heard. Not necessarily, man. I mean, Novatech ownership is pretty much, for the most part, they're pretty silent. Okay, and then also they, you can write a support ticket and you never get an answer, right? So I've got to, I got to contend with that a little bit in terms of we've got this ownership that can be, easily communicated with. I think that it's pretty obvious that that's not true. Touched, heard, yeah. I mean, maybe to some extent, right? They do every so often they do put messages out there, but it's not really, we don't really have a really good line to even a support service with Novatech. Okay, let's continue.
We are all right now, ladies and gentlemen, waiting, okay, for Novatech to come up with a resolution for the challenges that have come before us. And let me say and make this very clear, and this is my opinion, but this is from experience prior and from being able to see with a bird's eye view, being in this experience, why Novatech is where they are right now. This is what happens when you have so much success, blessing so many people in a gray space industry. And I say gray space, gray area, meaning we are in transition as we speak, and we are seeing it as the days come by. We are moving away from a cash society to a cashless society, to a digital form of currency. And guess what? Many of us have been able to operate in it and experience it right here at Novatech.
Notice that he's talking a lot in the past tense. We've been able to experience it. We've had, Novatech has already shown that it's real. Why? Because of the past. We have experienced it. We've been able to experience it. So we're looking back, through this messaging, he's looking back into the past of what has happened with Novatech, which we all know that Novatech was around for a while. They were doing a good job. They did make a lot of people rich. They were rocking and rolling until the powers that be, right, the government problems. And we're going to talk more about that a little bit later on in this video, because I'm going to have some real problems with some of the things that are said in this. Okay, but because I've already listened to this, but what I want to do is I want to kind of go over it and just, one at a time address these issues. But again, we're talking a lot in the past tense, and he's about to explain that, basically, yeah, it's a gray area. Cryptocurrency is a gray area, but it will not be a gray area for long, guys. We've got about 2 to 3 years left before the government completely, changes the game to the point where, at least in the United States and the Western countries, crypto is going to become very restricted, right? They already look upon it suspiciously, right? So we have a limited amount of time to make a lot of money in this crypto space. And you'll be hearing me speak more and more on that as time goes by. But right now, it's not really a gray area. There just isn't any really codified law. There isn't any codified law, right, when it comes to it. There's lawyers' opinions. An opinion, but lawyers' opinions differ, but there's not a lot of judicial legislation and case law on crypto right now. Okay, so that's what he's talking about when he mentions the gray area.
Because we are in this space and we have created so much success, Cynthia and Eddie and Ricardo and their family has created so much success. With success breeds a lot of envy, a lot of animosity, all right? Not just from people, and which may not be a lot, but from people within, but more so from people on the outside looking in.
what's your point? Right? Every successful person has to deal with that. The more success you get, the more haters you get. That's life. That's part of being in the public eye. Okay? We're about to go on a tangent of well, you'll see. Let's go.
And because of that negative energy that comes from the outside, let me tell you, and again, this is not to get spiritual, guys. This is important. We're family here. The enemy knows how to steal, kill, and destroy. The enemy knows how to still be around and navigate and look for the weak spots. Because it doesn't take very much from the enemy to stir up chaos and to literally not just rock a boat, but sink a boat.
Your devil is too big and your God is too small, man. Your devil's too big. Your God is too small. The enemy ain't sinking no boats unless God allows that to happen. So your God is too small. Your devil's too big. The boat will sink for many reasons, right? But notice that language. He says the devil has the power to sink the boat. Okay, so what are you saying? You're pretty much saying that the boat is sinking, right? Without saying it, he's saying, hey, this thing's going down, and you know what? It's the devil's fault, and it's your fault. You, the Novatech member, the community, the people on social media, frankly, it's your fault. That's what he's saying. It's the devil's fault and your fault. And if you talk about Novatech, you're in league with the devil, right? You're in league with the devil, right? The powerful devil that's going to sink the boat. And God, what can God do? Oh, he can't do anything, right? Come on, man.
So it is extremely, extremely important that we learn the lesson here today going forward in everything that we do. That we mind our business, that we stay connected, and we be in unison, in positive vibrations, in positive energy, in speaking into existence what it is that we want, and completely deflecting all of the negative that happens out there, guys. All right? Because
think positive, ignore the negative, right? Don't listen to anything unless it comes from us, right? Don't listen to anything unless it comes from the pre-approved, right? The pre-approved network, right? The network of God. Don't listen to anybody else. Don't listen to anything else. Let hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil, only think positive. Okay, but I guarantee you, what people are thinking about is their money. They're thinking about their funds, especially the people who've got a lot of money wrapped up into this thing. Okay, so you're getting, I get it, positive thinking, right? That's all good. I believe in that too, right? Positive confession, that's all good. I believe in that too. Programming, spiritual programming, all that stuff is great, but dude, you can't use that to replace the fact that people's money's on lockdown, right? And people are, basically, just wanting to know, hey, what's the plan, right?
Because all of the fear and the FUD, right, that has been created in this space has put Novatech in the position that they're in right now. Think about this, guys. Novatech has...
No. The fear is from the position that Novatech's in. The fear did not put Novatech in the position. Novatech got into the position, and that created the fear, right? That created the fear. Novatech first had a lack of communication at a very important, pivotal time in their company. They did not communicate, which caused people to have the fear. So which come first, the chicken or the egg? He's saying that it's your fault and it's the people's fault that Novatech is going through this. What a mind twist. What a turnaround, right? What a bait and switch. Unbelievable. So when this thing tanks, or if it falls, or if it goes away, guess who's to blame? You're to blame, and I'm to blame, but not the leadership, right? Not the company management, not the company. It's you and it's me. It's our fault. You see that? I mean, I'm not making this up. It's coming right out of the mouth of the leadership. You can hear it. Shout out to DAP, by the way. Shout out to all the Novatech leadership. Okay, guys. Hey, listen, you got to answer these questions, right? I'm sure you're gonna think I'm attacking you. I'm sure you're gonna think that I'm against you. I'm really not. But let's look at both sides of the coin here, right?
Gone through over 3.5 years. Excuse me, 4 years without.
Yeah, Darren. She's like the whole time. She's like, "Will you shut up?" She's like, "Will you let me talk?" Right? Like this whole time, she's like, "Oh, is he done yet?" And then there's a couple points where he said stuff, and she's like, "Holy crap! Did he just say that?"
A hiccup in being able to deliver on what it is that they've put out there. Think about that for a second. 4 years through all the ups and downs of the markets. Why all of a sudden, in a matter of a month or two, things just change? Why? Because we allowed government agencies like Canada, we allowed a person, not a state, we allowed a person who filed a cease and refrain that meant diddly squat, scare hundreds of thousands of people into thinking Novatech was going away because they got a cease and refrain in California. Never got signed by.
Okay, so he talked about the cease and refrain in Canada. He talked about the cease and refrain in California. Shout out to him for actually talking about it at this point. I mean, it's kind of like water under the bridge at this point. But if the company would have communicated that that was one single person and that it was not a government action, if the company, like, dude, DAP, if you would have come out and said that, or if the company would have come out and said that back in October of 2022, probably a lot of people would not have withdrawn their accounts, right? So the silence, the lack of communication, the fact that Novatech did not communicate even when it was getting these cease and desist orders, that's the reason why people looked at the writing on the wall and they got out. A lot of people got out because not only were the cease and desist orders happening, but you didn't say that. Nobody said that. Nobody came on Novatech and said, "Hey guys, this is just one singular person that did this. This is not a government investigation. This is not a government action. This is just one person who filed a cease and desist order." Nobody ever said that until now, right? Till now, months and months and months later. Maybe if you would have said that in the first place, people would not have made this quote unquote run on the bank and withdrew their money. So, why didn't somebody say that in the first place? Okay. Again, not taking accountability, not taking responsibility of the company leadership, not putting the accountability on the company leadership. Once again, blaming you, blaming me, blaming the investors, right? Like, we should have known, right? We should have known. Well, how can we know if you don't communicate?
Anybody in California. It was like you going and putting a restraining order on somebody by filling out a documentation and paying $89. It created the bank run that Novatech is experiencing right now. Guys, all of us are here because Novatech was different than everybody else. They didn't lock up your money. They paid out every single week. There was no limitations on how much that you can actually receive. That's not because they weren't doing what they're supposed to do. It's because you had an ownership like Cynthia and Eddie who understands money and who understands not being greedy and being able to change the lives of people that look like you and me across this globe. So that fear was created. And because of that fear and because of what happened, and I can't go into detail because I don't know all the details about Canada, but I'm here to tell you guys that stuff was real. Yeah. All right. Novatech made it very clear. Novatech's not trading options or stocks or bonds or CBCs or whatever. They proved that stuff. They didn't care. You know why? Because government agencies and bodies and all that stuff, they want a piece of the pie, and that more importantly, right, they don't want to see people like you and me being able to earn like we do. You know why? Because then that says they're not going to work in our employment system. Hello, guys.
That's a good point, right? That's very true. I mean, the one of the reasons why crypto and crypto programs and crypto platforms and just cryptocurrency in general, the world of DeFi in general, is coming under such harsh regulations from the government is because the government doesn't want to lose their workforce. They don't want to lose the hands that are, milking the cows, so to speak. They don't want to lose the people who are, out in the field, so to speak. They want to, they want you to really, they want you to work for the majority of your life, pay them your taxes, get their little Social Security, and then that's your life. They've kind of got a plan for your life, right? But when you start getting into your own wealth and building your own legacy, and crypto helps people do that right now, any type of new movement or new finance or anytime something is a new opportunity, it helps people get out of the 9 to 5, and it like pulls people up into a higher level of living and existing. The governments know that, if that happens to too many people, they're going to have a problem, because their whole little, their little life that they planned out for you, you're like going above and beyond that. And so, yeah, I agree with him on that point.
Thousands of people in Novatech making more in a week than they do in their jobs in a year. That's the big issue. And because Novatech never thought that the very people they serve and have been faithful to would ever turn their backs on them, because they never stopped paying, and they did that, now Novatech has to experience the other side of family turning the back on them, because they left everything.
There's the finger. It's being pointed, and it's being pointed at you, right? You turned your back on us, right? You turned your back on us. No, I don't think that's the case. I think what happened is the orders came out, the government actions came out, and you didn't communicate to your people. You didn't let us know what was going on. You didn't lay out, what was going on. And I said this. You can go back in my videos and see this. You didn't tell us what was going on and what your plan was to get through it. You said nothing. You allowed this stuff to happen. You didn't say anything. And people took their money out. Does that mean they turned their back? No, they were probably waiting to hear from you. And when they didn't hear anything, they said, well, let me go ahead and pull some of my capital out of this just in case, because it looks like they're starting to go into some hot water, and Novatech is not responding at all. They're not saying anything about it. There's zero communication. They're not telling us anything about these orders. They're not even admitting that it's happening. They're not saying anything. They're not communicating. They're not answering their support tickets. What's going on? Let me go ahead and get some of my capital out of here so that I don't lose my money if this thing gets shut down by the government, right? I think that's pretty simple to understand. It's pretty straightforward. Doesn't have anything to do with spirituality. Doesn't have anything to do with the battle of good and evil. Doesn't have anything to do with people being loyal to Novatech, not being loyal to Novatech. It's just simple, common sense.
Open for us, guys. I'm telling you, I've been in this space 7 years. 4 years full time. We've never had the privilege to be able to talk to ownership and to truly see a people that look like Cynthia and Eddie change the lives of people that look like them and everybody else across this globe. And they still haven't disappeared. They're still here. They're still paying out, even though they've created all of these parameters. Now, do we know the rhyme and the rhythm and the algorithms of why and how and who? No, we don't know. We have no idea. All we can do is trust that they're going to do everything in their power to be able to regain the confidence in this company, and more importantly, the confidence in what it is that they do. How long can that take?
Why aren't they saying that? Right? I mean, you're being a good representative here, but why aren't they saying that to their investors? Like, why aren't they saying, hey, we're going to do whatever it takes. We're going to make sure you guys are cool. We're going to take care of you guys. We're going to take care of your funds. Don't worry about this. We got this under control. Here's what we're going to do, A, B, C, and D. But instead, we get radio silence, right? We get radio silence. And then even worse than that, they're passing the blame onto us, right? They're passing the blame onto people like me. Opportunities on social media, they're passing the blame onto you if you tried to pull a withdrawal out, right? Anyway, let's continue here.
Let me say this. As leaders, and I'm looking at Miss Corey J, the queen right here, when we were all talking about different things that can go on, we had several leaders that was like, that's too short. We need more time. Like, come on. This company wasn't built overnight. It was built over many nights. When there's a challenge, we can't just try to fix things in a week or a month. Things like this take time. But because Novatech wanted to deliver as they have, and they did not want to disappoint, they prematurely did a lot of things that really actually hurt them. Now, is that a mark against their record? No, because again, we don't have the stress and the responsibility that they have.
Right.
They did what they felt was best. They tried. It did not work to what they wanted. And guess what? Every time they did it twice. You know what happens, guys, when people say, and let's talk about God's body for a second. And again, it's not about spirituality here, but every organ in our body has a purpose. Every single one. Oh, but they took the spleen out. The spleen don't mean nothing. You think God would have put it there if it didn't mean anything? Oh, they took the appendix out. It don't mean anything. Oh, they took my tonsils out. It doesn't mean anything. Every single organ in your body has a purpose. And you don't realize the purpose until it's gone and something else happens. And you don't even realize that all those other things trickling, and now you got to take medications for it. All that's happening because something has been removed. A system is designed in its perfect creation to perfectly flow.
Okay, so the only thing that I can get from that is that he's saying that maybe we I first off, let me just say, I don't really understand where he's going with that analogy, but I think he's saying that we should have kept our money in there or something like that for the system to work. Not really sure where he's going with that one.
From the heavens and the earth, the solar systems, all the way down to financial systems, to family dynamics, the mindset. Guys, everything connects, guys. And we got disconnected. And unfortunately, the enemy was able to disconnect us. And I know, again, some of you might be like, man, Dad, you're talking that bull. When I'm getting my money? I'm here to tell you guys, we have no idea. We only know that Novatech.
He just said it, right? Oh, man, you're talking a lot of stuff. When am I going to get my money? No idea. All right, let's keep going.
Going to deliver in however they're going to deliver. We just have to trust because we're all in the same boat, guys. There are people that only put $100 in this platform that's going through what they're going through, and there's people that put 7 figures in this platform that are going through the exact. Remember, we're all in the same boat. There's no comparisons here. We're all family, and we're all experiencing the same turbulence on the same plane. The key is we trust the pilots that we're going to get to our destination.
Right. Absolutely.
Whatever that destination will look like, we are going to get there. And until that flight is over, we just have to sit back, strap on our seatbelts, and enjoy the ride.
There you go.
So I'm going to stop there for right now because we got some amazing leaders on this call. There's so much more that we can unpack. But I just wanted to kind of start everything off by just sharing those sentiments so that we all understand that no one here should be held accountable for anything. Novatech is who we all believe in, and Novatech is who we're all going to continue to believe in until we have no reason to. And at this point, we have every reason to believe in. All right, so
praise the Lord.
Queen, I'll go ahead and let you go for now, and then we'll continue and dive and unpack a little more for that. So.
All right, Young King. Well, I sure appreciate you letting me do that, Good information there, baby.
Okay, all right, Young King. I sure appreciate you letting me do that. Good information, baby. Basically, she's saying, when were you going to shut up, man? She's like, finally I get to talk. is basically, that's, I mean, I think everybody can see that that's what she was saying by that. And then the other thing, guys, I mean, we got a lot of talk about faith here. We got a lot about talk about trusting the leadership. We got a lot of talk about that. That's all good and well, but where's the plan? Where's the actions? Right? The only thing that we know is that kind of nothing is happening right now, and we're not really hearing from the totally. We're not really hearing from the leadership. We're not hearing from Cynthia. We're not hearing from Eddie. We're not hearing, from anybody in that type of leadership position. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. All that we know is that there is litigation going on. And so sometimes when you're in the middle of litigation, the lawyer tells you to not say anything, right? Yeah. Okay, let's continue.
And just a good, strong mindset. It's what it is that, that we need. It's information that we need to hear. It's very strong. It's very powerful. And if you really embellish and take that in, it really and truly can be life-saving. Marcia, I know you probably want to step in here, baby. And I'll turn it over to you, Precious.
Oh, thank you so much, beautiful. Hello, family. As Corey and I and Dap and I were just, really chatting and just thinking about things, you guys, this great company, their mission, where Reverend Cynthia Petion was given that vision to help eradicate poverty all over the world. I mean, none of us imagined to even be where we are today with so many lives changing. And I tell you, they're fighting to continue to do that, y'all. All they simply ask, although it may be so as painful as it is, but just a little bit of patience as they go through. They're still continuing to pay out. So please stay connected to the back office with updates and so on. Folks, someone texted me the other day and said they got paid, their withdrawals, their cash outs. So just continue to stay connected. As Corey says all the time, and I love when you say this, sis, mind your business. And it's the responsibility of each and every one of us to own that piece and to really pay attention to the updates on the company's Novatech news channel, to updates that's in the back office.
Don't worry. I think we're all paying attention to the updates. Okay, I think we're all, especially those of us who have a lot of money tied up in Novatech, I think we're all paying pretty close attention. So but thank you for the advice.
We all have the same connection to the same tools. So we just want to take the time, Corey and I want to take the time to say we appreciate each and every one of you. We love y'all. This is a family, as Dap stated. It's a family affair here. And we all, as Dap stated too, we're all in the same boat. We're all going through the same thing. And it's all in a drive for us to really help and continue to keep the prayer up and lift it up, Cynthia Petion.
Right.
Lift up Ricardo Roy.
Yes.
Lift up Eddie. Lift up the entire community here as we go through. As one family, striving towards that common goal, you guys. And so that's my update for right now, just to say, hey, I thank God for this incredible opportunity. And I want this to be, and it is, the legacy for myself and my family. I believe that wholeheartedly, you guys. And for so many generations to come. And there's some people.
Now that's one of the issues that's problematic, okay? Because a lot of people bought into Novatech with this idea that they were going to build a legacy for their family. They were going to create generational wealth. I know because I have friends who use that same type of language. And a lot of people pitched Novatech that way. They said, hey, you're going to invest in this. You're going to become a millionaire. Your family's going to have millions of dollars. This is going to change your life. It's going to change the life of your children. It's going to change the life of your grandchildren. And this is the vehicle, right? This is the vehicle, Novatech. Nothing else, right? Novatech. This is what's going to create this big generational wealth. And so once people bought into that and believed that, can you imagine how hard it is for them to see these things happening right now and going, I can't be wrong. I cannot be wrong. I put too much money in this to be wrong. I put too much of a stake in this to be wrong. I laid it all on the line for this idea, this belief, this faith, this this gamble for generational wealth, right? This gamble with one company for generational wealth. And that's why I preach on here, guys, diversify. If you've got $10,000, maybe take 1,000 and invest it in 10 companies, right? Instead of investing all 10,000 in one company, because you don't know what tomorrow brings. You don't know what's going to happen. Diversification. I talk about it all the time. Also, withdraw early, withdraw often. We don't want to compound and compound and compound and compound and compound and compound. And then eventually, look what's happened here. Now you can't get your funds. The funds are locked up. They're saying this, that, and the other thing. But the reality is they're in some trouble in the United States. They're no longer allowed to operate in the United States. And the reality is you don't have access to your money. Maybe you get a little bit here and there, like a little teeny bit. But if you've got hundreds of thousands of dollars in Novatech, you don't have access to that. That's the reality. That's the situation, right? And so a lot of this stuff, it's like whistling in the dark. They're trying to keep your spirits up. They're trying to say, don't stop believing, right? Keep the faith. Everything's going to be okay. Let's get, we're having a tough time, but we're going to get through that. And that's all well and good. But at the same time, it's a little bit disingenuous, right, as to what's really happening here. And so on my channel and what I talk about on the Unlimited Freedom Network, I say, hey, guys, the most healthy thing you can do mentally is try to move on from this and start building yourself in other opportunities, right? Start, hey, we all make mistakes. Things happen, right? And if Novatech pays you out, that's great. If that happens sometime down the line, all I'm saying is don't count on it. Have a plan. Have a plan in place for yourself in case it never comes back. That's all I'm saying.
That's not here today, as Dap said. And there's one young lady that's super special to me that's not here. And her husband calls us.
Hang in there as long as we possibly need to. We don't know what that looks like. We have no idea what the time frame is for Novatech to get back on track the way that we all experienced Novatech just 6 months ago. That mentioned the enemy always comes here to kill. Let me tell y'all something. The enemy has no dominion over God's people. As long as you stand strong, as long as you are firm in your faith, God will always prevail. It's what each and every one of us have to do. All we have to do is be patient. We are not corporate. Can you imagine what they are dealing with? Most of us probably cannot, because I don't believe any of us have ever been in the position that they are in, with over 400,000 individuals and families who they clearly hold an allegiance to. How do we know that? Because they have not closed the doors. They very easily could do that, y'all. And we know that, okay? But they have not. And the reason Cynthia was given an assignment from God. Now, anybody that's offended on this call, as we speak about God and spirituality, and as Dap opened our call up with prayer, that's where we are here on Team Diamond. That's who we are.
Okay, nobody got a special assignment from God, guys. The assignment from God is written in the Bible. You can read about it in Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Read about it. It's in there, right? You want to know what your assignment is? Read it, and there it is. There's your assignment, right? You're not getting no. This is the problem with this type of idea, because, it's like, okay, if you think that God told you to do this and then it falls apart and fails, like, does that mean that God failed you? No. It means that you believed something. You went extra far into your, into kind of a spiritual make-believe, spiritual imagination, right? You don't need to wonder what the assignment is. It's written down in black and white. You can read it.
Call us what you want. It matters none to us. Who we believe and who we trust is Jesus Christ. He promised us that he would never leave or forsake us. He's not going to start now. Be strong, you guys. Please be strong. Not for us, but for you and your family, for many generations to come. When information is released, it will be placed in your back office so that you are kept up to snuff. It'll come directly from corporate so that you don't have to listen to the information that's out there. If you don't hear it from us, do not believe it, okay? If you want to believe it, knock yourself out. But I'm telling you, the information that we share is information that is authentic, okay?
If you don't hear it from us, do not believe it, right? Don't listen to anything out there, right? Only believe it if you hear it on you directly from corporate, right? If you don't hear it from us, do not believe it, right? Don't believe it, right? You know, it's like just well, we don't hear anything. We're not, that the whole problem is that we're not hearing anything from corporate, right? I mean, that's part of the whole problem. You got to get your information from somewhere, right? And it's like, okay, we've got information, we've got documentation, we can see what's been happening. These are public records. It's like, okay, but if you don't hear it from us, do not believe it. Who says that? Right? Who says that? Like, what if I were to say that? Hey, if you don't hear it from me on this channel, guys, it's all fake news, right? Who does that remind you of?
Only because we care. Yes, absolutely, we care for our own families. Absolutely,
Well, I'm glad that you care. Thank you for caring. But what I really need right now is I need to get a hold of some of my money. So what we gonna do about that? I appreciate that you care, right? And I know, you know, the Lord's never gonna leave me or forsake me. You don't need to remind me of that. I know that. But what I'm thinking about is, you know, what about this money that I invested in Novatech, right? What about this money that my family's got in there? What's going on with that? I mean, what how are we gonna get that? Right? What's going to be done about that?
doing this for our own families. Y'all are our families too. And so we're sharing the information with you because we care. We're going to get paid again, y'all, and it won't be long. I don't know. No one told me that. That's my thought. And it's also my prayer, right? But it's the truth. It's the truth that God loves, right? So y'all just continue to be strong as you have been. Be patient as you have been. And yes, I understand it's not easy. We all understand that. But please be patient for your sake and for your family's sake. It's going to pay off. I promise you. It'll pay off. I believe that with all of my heart. Dap, I know you wanted to come on and share something. And family, if you would like, you know, we can open it up for a couple of the team leaders to come on if y'all want to say a little something, because again, we are all family here, and each and every one of you are important to us, right? Every cog in the wheel allows the wheel to turn. So your thoughts and your prayers, your good thoughts, they're important, right? So let's bring some of the leaders on, Dap. Did you want to come on, Dap, and add anything else?
Yeah. Before I go, I want to let people know this is hard because we work 1/3 of our life for it.
Okay, now Dap is about to really show some stuff right here. So just get ready for this. He's basically what he's saying here. It's wow. I mean, it's just read between the lines of what this guy is saying, because he's really giving you, he's saying it without actually saying it, but we'll crack into it. Let me go ahead and play this.
And that's money. People will kill for money. They will be afraid for money. They will abandon their family for money. They'll use drugs for money. That's because people worship money. It's why a lot of people actually join Novatech, because it's no different in some cases. People that may say, well, I don't gamble, right? Everything in life is a risk. There's a level of risk. When it comes to money, there's a level of risk for every single thing. And when the rewards and the stakes are high, there's always an element of risk that you can lose it all. Now, I'm not here to say we're going to lose it all. I truly believe, you guys look in my eyes, all right? I truly believe that this company...
But he should say you could lose it all. Everybody should say that. They should have said that in every single presentation that they did. Hey, you know what the risk is here? You could lose it all. And you need to know that before you sign up. The risk is you could lose it all, right? And really, really make sure that people understood that right before investing. And I know that a lot of people did do that, right? I myself always did that. I harp on it all the time. Never invest anything that you cannot afford to lose. But yeah, I mean, there you go. So let me close this out. 1 second. Yeah, that people should have been made known of that from the start.
If worst case scenario.
Here comes the worst case scenario, guys.
That's not where they are. That's plan Z. I've always said this in the beginning. Worst case scenario. If Novatech could not be around, or if the owners had to close the door, which again, guys, we've already experienced this in the past in this crypto space. It happens every day. As a matter of fact, guys, why don't you just turn on the news and watch it happening in your banking system every single week? Another bank is going down. The very banks that people trust
Okay, the difference is the banks are insured, right? So you're not going to lose all your money with the bank, and you do have some legal recourse if you do lose your money with the bank, right? So there's a little bit of a difference there. I see what he's saying, that no institution can be 100%. Everything is a risk, and I completely agree with that. But at the same time, the crypto space is a higher level of risk, much higher than the bank.
Higher lives with. If Novatech wanted to go away, if Novatech ran out of money, I hear this all the time. Well, they're not paying because they ran out of money. Guys, that's a Ponzi scheme. Meaning there was nothing really ever being invested or anything if you're going to say Novatech ran out of money. That's not a case of running out of money. It's a case of business completely halting. All right, guys, I want to, again, there's so many people that it's funny because every blue moon, I would test out someone who swears they know everything about everything when it comes to investing and trading, and they know what's going on in Novatech. And I'm a trader, and I know this. I've been doing this. Listen, I test everybody who, quote unquote, is a trader. And I'm like, man, that's so awesome. Open up your books. Let me see how much money you got in your bank account. Let me see what you're actually, ain't everybody. Do you know that 99% of traders lose money? This is why we utilize it.
Yeah, everybody loses. The trick is you got to win a greater amount than you lose. That's called a risk to reward ratio. And what that means, if you lose one, you have to win 3. Right. So if you got your percentages up and you've got your risk to reward ratio right, you can make a lot of money in trading. But it's not even 99% of traders that lose. It's 100%. Everybody loses every day. Every day that I do trading, I lose trades. Right. But I win more than I lose. And I have a risk to reward ratio that works out in my favor, over time. And that's how you make money with trading.
Institutions and companies like Novatech, because we don't have the discipline. We don't have the power to be able to do what they do.
Right.
When people stop believing, when you stop contributing to your 401k, your retirement's dead. Dead, guys. Dead.
That's just simply not true, right? The 401k will still be there as long as you own it.
I challenge anybody to tell me that they started their retirement and within a year they stopped putting money in and they're able to have their money outlive them. 0. So I say all this, guys, to say we are all in the same boat. And trust me, as hard as it is, I know some of you are having arguments and fights with your significant others and friends. This is what money does.
Can you imagine that, guys? People like getting into fights over this, their families, everything. It's so sad. It's really so sad. And if everybody could just be on the same page, that wouldn't have been a problem. If more communication could have come out from the company, that stuff wouldn't have been a problem. It's just all of the, all these things happening and almost zero communication from the company, right? That's going to cause a lot of speculation. That's going to cause fights. We get it on here in my comment section. We got people fighting. There's probably people in the chat right now fighting. I'm going to read the chats as soon as I'm done with this video.
It happens in all of our households, but we got to stay strong and realize that money is not the all end all. And if we believe and we continue with our lives and allow Novatech to do what they do, I think for the majority of us, we're going to be extremely excited about what's to come in the future with Cynthia and Eddie. So I just wanted to share that, guys. Just, again,
what's to come in the future with Cynthia and Eddie? Notice not with Novatech. What's to come in the future with Cynthia and Eddie? Okay, so what that is we're getting you ready here, right? Getting you ready to, hear about pretty much the launch of a new company or a new spin-off company from Novatech. So we're going to be very excited about Novatech. No, we're going to be very excited about what's going to happen with Cynthia and Eddie. So that's a little bit of a foreshadowing of possibly a new project.
Only take the news that you see in the back office or in the Novatech news channel.
That's it.
If you don't see it there, all of these letters going around that's created by individuals, if it ain't posted in your back office or on the Novatech news channel where you can literally scroll up and see it permanently there, then guess what? It was an opinion of somebody, maybe with good intentions, that put it out. But it's not the accurate, because it's not coming from the source, which is Cynthia and Eddie. All right, guys? It's literally gotten to the point where even when I was able to post, I'm letting you guys know, I don't anymore. Why? Because we want the accuracy to come from the company and not opinions, because opinions get taken all types of ways. Even though we mean well, we just want to make sure that the appropriate information is actually going out. And guys, let me also say this. There's a reason why Novatech is very choosy on their words. Let me tell you guys something. There's some people on here, I say, I'm going to call the SEC. I'm going to call the CFTC. Go ahead and call those people, guys, and see if everybody doesn't lose their money. You know why, guys?
Okay, so there it is. He's setting it up. So if you lose your money, guess what? It's your fault, because some people called the whoever, right? They called and told, right? They called mom and dad, right? The mom and daddy government. They called and told, and they blew the whistle or whatever. And he's saying, well, if you do that, you're definitely going to lose your money, right? And so he already knows that people are doing that, right? So it's like, so if something happens, then it's going to, once again, it's going to be your fault. It's going to be my fault. It's going to be the fault of the members. It's not going to be nobody is taking accountability here in leadership.
Because at the end of the day, no institution higher up wants to see people win.
I agree with that.
We have to protect what it is that we have. And we do that by just being patient, guys. All right? And that's all I can say with that. All right? Novatech is here. They're still paying. The website is still open. If you can see your back office, the documentation is there, and we just leave it from there. So with that being said, that's all we can say, guys. All right? And I'm going to pass it back over to you, Queen, so you can have some leaders come on.
Okay, very good. Let me just...
All right, guys. So that's that. That's what's going on there. Once again, it's kind of like a session of, hey, let's just keep the faith. Let's keep believing. Let's keep praying. And we don't know what's happening, but we definitely do know that if something does happen, it's your fault, right? It's the social media people's fault. It's the investors' fault. Right? It's the fault of, somebody. It's everybody's fault except for the Novatech leadership. Why am I saying this? Because I want you to get better, guys. I want you to up that game. I want you to get better, right? Let's get better at communicating. Let's open up the support system, right? Let's hire some staff, right? All these suggestions that I've had for this company and for this opportunity, right? Now, I've made money in Novatech, but we got to call it like it is, guys. We have to, times change, things change. Somebody on here mentioned the book, Who Moved My Cheese? That's a great book. It's about, basically it's about mice and a rat race. And there's cheese at one point of the maze, right? The maze that the mice are running in has cheese at one part. And so every day, the mice run to this one spot where the cheese is at, every day. And then they move the cheese, right? They move the cheese. And what happens is the mice, most of them keep running to that same old spot that the cheese used to be, and there's no more cheese, right? But a few of them find the new piece of cheese, right? And what happens? A lot of the mice die because they keep going back to that same old spot where the cheese used to be. But the mice that move to the new cheese, of course, they live. Right. And so it's this adaptation thing of, hey, the cheese moves, things change, your ability to adapt, your ability to roll with the punches, your ability to change as things change in the times, your ability to change with the times, your ability to adapt. Right. That's what's going to cause you to continue to be successful. And especially in this space, I mean, you just got to diversify. Right. You got to look at some other options. We're going to get into your guys' chat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get into the actual Q&A from the week, where I'm going to go over your guys' comments, questions that you had, and we're going to do that. So bear with me for 1 second while I get that pulled up. Go over here. But before we get into it, I'm going to read your guys' chats here. So, guys. My comments. Give me 1 second, guys. I should have done this before I started the live, but I want to get to. I got a lot of comments these days to sort through, so it takes a little bit longer than it used to. Almost there. Okay. Get back to the live stream. All right. What's up, everybody? So everybody that said hi to me, hello. Glad you're here. Good to see you guys here. Darren, maybe God will appoint a new CEO. Hey, man, you never know. He's God. He can do whatever he wants to do, right? Next up, Johnny. Hey, Vaughn. What's up, Johnny? What's going on, man? Good to see you here. Always glad to have you in the chat. Wayne. So do I. I am a Christian, but God isn't the author of confusion. Yeah, I agree, man. I just think it's a little bit silly to but it's a problem, right? It's a problem when people go, you go away, you go outside of the Bible, outside of the actual word, and you start saying, God told me this, God told me that, God is having me do this, God told me to do that. Okay, look, I think and I believe that God already told everybody what to do, and it's right there in the word, right? We can all look at it, it's all there. And when you go outside of the word, it's like it just becomes subjective. It's like, okay, maybe, I don't know, man. But, if it's not in the word, I'm not going to fully buy into it. Thumbs up, people. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. There's 63 people right now. Let's go ahead and like the video if you're getting some sauce. I know that nobody else brings you the sauce the same way that I bring it to you here at Unlimited Freedom Network, because I just bring you the straight up truth. I'm not going over to one side. I'm not going over to the other side. I'm just trying to bring you the app, just calling it like I see it here, guys. So I'm bringing you that sauce. If you like the sauce, hit the like button. MP, well, with all the talk, where does our money stand exactly? Exactly. You notice on there that the only thing that was really said about money on that whole broadcast was that, was the problem with people worshiping money, which, of course, that is a problem. But at the same time, let's not call people money worshipers just because they're worried about where their money's at or they want to see where their money's at, because this whole Novatech thing was a way for us to grow our crypto. It was a way for us to all benefit in the space. It was working for a long time. And I don't think it's too much to ask for people to ask, hey, okay, all these things are happening. What's going to happen with my money? I don't think that that's too much to ask. For those of you wondering what this is, it's mango juice. Okay, I had a loyal supporter say, what you drinking, Vaughn? What you drinking? It's mango juice, okay? Very good. I like it. All right, MP. All we get from Nova is silence of symmetry. So, yeah, I mean, that's the problem, right? If they would have like come out, like, let's say when that first cease and desist order came out, if they would have come out, if leadership would have come out and say, hey, this isn't actually from a government, this was filed by a person, right? A person who doesn't like Novatech. It hasn't been signed by any governing bodies. It's just a petition. Well, if they would have come out and said that when it happened, we may not be sitting here today. But they didn't. So the silence is actually the problem. Darren, my fault. So sorry. Yeah, it's right. So they're blaming it's our fault, right? It's nobody's fault. It never is not the leader's fault, not Novatech's fault. Oh no, it's your fault. It's my fault, right? It's the fault of people who shared the opportunity. It's our fault, right? I mean, that is a seriously disturbed and a seriously distorted view of reality when you blame your people. Can you believe that? They're saying we turned our back on Novatech. Nobody turned their back on Novatech. Cry me a river, play me the violin, right? Come on, man. You're blaming your people. You're saying that we turned our back. Come on, man. You can miss me with that. Precious love. I have faith they will bounce back. They need time. Okay, that's good. I'm glad that you have faith. I'm glad that you think that they're going to bounce back. Still, I would like to hear some communication. It's not hard to communicate, right? It's not too hard to come on and communicate to your people and let us know. I thought those weekly updates would have been nice, but they haven't been able to do that. So, I think that, some communication is not too much to ask. Fronto, LOL, dude sounds like a clown. Yeah, he's definitely not everybody's cup of tea. MP, they sure will bounce back, but they need to communicate better. I have faith as well. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Darren, 80% reserves. Where did that go? That was supposed to be the cushion unless I missed something. No, you didn't miss anything. They're not talking about that now. But back at the beginning, they said that they only traded with 20% of the accounts, and so that they had 80% of the money in reserve. That way, if something like this were to happen, the money would be there so that people could withdraw their funds. And that has been patently not true. That patently was not true, obviously not true, or else people would have been able to withdraw their money. So when they froze the accounts, they froze the trading accounts, they restricted the bonus accounts. There's a reason for that, but they've never really given us the full reason. All they've done is they've said, well, it's a bank run and it's your fault, right? It's not our fault, it's your fault. So that's a good question. What happened to that 80% cushion? Can anybody answer that? Fronto, he's not confident in what he's saying. I can hear it in his voice. And she sounds like a devil. So, yeah, Fronto, I mean, what he's saying there is that you can tell, kind of through the body language and through the way that they're, the things that they're not saying, you can kind of read between the lines and see that basically what they're saying is they're trying to, it's like I said before, they're whistling in the dark, right? They're whistling in the dark. They're trying to say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. But they really don't know, right? And you got to understand, another thing you got to understand is a lot of the higher up leadership at Novatech, a lot of those guys got a lot of money in the game. They got a lot of money in the system, right? I know people who have a lot of money who's still tied up with, hundreds of thousands of dollars in Novatech, and they're the same way. They don't want to hear anything negative because they're still in that phase of they're denying the possibility that this thing could go left. They're denying the possibility that something could go wrong here, and quite frankly, something is going wrong. And they want to be in denial of that. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want to deal with it head on because they've got a lot of money involved, and they don't want to lose that, right? And they don't want to even open up themselves up to the possibility that it could be lost. But what I say is it's better to open yourself up to that possibility. It's better to diversify, get yourself into some different investments, get yourself out, move your money out there so that you don't have all your eggs in the same basket. I think that that's better, right? That's more healthy because at least you're putting a plan in place and you're not just sitting there and living on faith and faith alone, right? Because faith alone can only take you so far. You got to have the works too. Okay. Precious Love, who in the right mind would sue Novatech? Your lawyers will get all the money in your trading accounts. The lawyers are going to get the money if people sue. That's absolutely right. But people feel like they're backed into a corner. They feel like they don't have any recourse, and they're trying to figure out what to do, right? So I knew that Novatech was going to start getting sued as soon as they locked up the accounts. Because once they locked up the accounts, people's money was effectively, they were unable to get their money. So like Precious, even if they had like a family emergency or if they had a situation where they needed that money, like something unforeseen came up and they needed that money, they weren't able to get it. And you know how people are, they're going to sue. That's what they do, right? I've been in business for a long time, right? Before I was in business for myself, I had mentors who were in business and I saw them get sued all the time. Once I got into business for myself, I started getting sued. And it's just something that people do. It's like human nature. They sue. It happens. And maybe they're not in their right mind. You know what I mean? But that is something that they do. And believe me, it's definitely happening here. Darren, cultish over the top. Yeah, it gets a bit cultish when you start saying that God told us to do this. And if you listen to anybody other than us, you're wrong. God told us to do this and only listen to us, right? We're the voice of God. Only listen to us. Everybody else is wrong. Everybody else is just trying to lead you astray. Only listen if it comes from the company. We've got the message of God, right? Does that sound like a cult? Absolutely. Precious, people gossip and spread rumors. Yeah, they do. But if you're a company, you got to be able to withstand that, right? Anytime you're doing something you know how much rumors and gossip and everything go around about me from having my different companies, from having my internet companies, from having my YouTube channel, having my businesses outside of YouTube. It's just part of the deal, right? You got to have a super thick skin. You got to be able to handle it, and you got to be able to grow from it. That's just the way that it is. I mean, that's never going to change. Jennifer, Precious Love, agree 100% with your comments. Right on, Jennifer. Thank you for the comment. Alvaro Diaz, DAP is not very bright. Well, DAP has a lot of money. He's got a lot of skin in the game, and DAP is of the belief that only talk about the positive, never talk about the negative. And it's very telling that even somebody like DAP is gearing us up for some bad news, especially there at the end. He's gearing us up for some bad news. He's gearing us up for a possible change, change to a new platform, a new company. He's gearing up for that, guys, and he has good reason to do so. Darren reminds me of Tammy Faye Baker. LOL. Yeah. There's a lot of like. There comes a point where you're starting to appeal to your base, and the base of Novatech is is a certain type of demographic. That's their base, and they're starting to appeal to their base. The problem with that is what happens is you isolate people who are not on the exact same wavelength as that. Doesn't mean that they're wrong. They're just not on the same wavelength that you are, right? They're not going to be cool with saying that, oh, it's all good and it's all God, that my money is like, I can't get my money right now. A lot of people are not going to be cool with that. A lot of people are not going to go on that and say, oh, well, I'm just going to believe, I'm just going to pray, and it's okay that I can't get my money, right? Frankly, most people are not going to bite when it comes to that. Blue Sky, good evening. When did this take place? I apologize if you already answered. This message came out a couple of days ago, right? And then it got leaked on YouTube, and a lot of people are, reacting to it. I thought that I would go on here and react to it as well. Just give my, kind of my take on it. I've got a good friend, and I've got a group. I've got a Novatech group that I actually started. Get this, guys. I started a Novatech group on WhatsApp, right? And the Novatech group that I started, they will not promote my YouTube channel. They say don't watch Unlimited Freedom, right? Don't look at Unlimited Freedom. And it's the group that I started. It's my group. And they don't want to hear the Unlimited Freedom videos. No, they say only listen to DAP. And they actually shared this Team Diamond video on my WhatsApp group, but they won't share any of mine. And it's a group that I started. Like, I have the keys to the group. That just shows you how whack job people can get with this cult of personality. Anthony Phelps, what's up, Anthony? Love your honesty. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate your support for the channel. Darren, the bank run story is their cover story for the rugging, folks. And that will be, listen, if the 80% thing were true, then that would be a logical conclusion, right? So if they were supposed to be trading with the money, and if they supposedly had 80% that they were holding for everybody, then that would be a logical conclusion to come to, Darren. Just silly stuff. What's going on? Just silly stuff. Good to see you here. This guy, Dap, I don't know what's with him anymore. Yeah, man, I think he's whistling in the dark, man. Just silly stuff. Where's my Lady Luck at? Actually, that video that I played earlier was from Lady Luck's channel. That's where I got that video. Danielle Jones is gone. They ran off with the check. Well, yeah, I mean, if the whole thing was a Ponzi scheme, then the smart thing to do would have been to get out back in October. That's what I say. If it really was a Ponzi scheme and they really were going to rug pull, if it were me, I would have done it back in October, guys. I wouldn't have drug it on for so long. Precious Love, who lost money in Novatech? Well, it depends on what you mean by losing money. If you say that since we can see our account on a computer screen, that means we haven't lost money. Here's the problem. We can see the money on the computer screen, but we can't actually access the money. So what does that mean? Does that mean we have lost the money, or does that mean that we have not lost the money? There's a lot of places in this space that show profits on the computer screen, but you can't actually get your profits out. They show the profits on the screen, but you can't actually withdraw your money. And there's a lot of programs like that. And unfortunately, Novatech is one of those right now. So you tell me, Precious, did we lose our money or did we not? The money's sitting on the computer screen. I can look at it on the computer screen, but I do not have access to it. So have I lost it or have I not lost it? Please tell me. Alvaro, Precious Love, me. Danielle, Precious Love, every damn body. Precious Love, why lie? They would refund you eventually. Okay, well, time will tell, right? We'll see what they do. Isaiah Bryant, you have valid points. I still think patience is critical. However, a CEO should want out to get in front of their own narrative. Yeah, so Isaiah, this is a learning experience for the leadership of Novatech, and it's a learning experience for everybody who's involved with Novatech. I've had to do this. I had a guy dox me here on YouTube, and I had to do a whole hour and a half live YouTube where I just answer. And these were like personal things that he doxed me with. Now, I shouldn't have to go on here and talk about my personal life, right? There's some things ought to be able to be private. But in the social media era, in the social media world, I had to go on and make a response video because this guy literally came on YouTube and he like talked about how I robbed my teacher in the 4th grade, right? I mean, literally he doxed every bad thing I've ever done my entire life. He said some stuff that wasn't even true, right? He like went above and beyond. And the first thing I had to do was I said, well, should I ignore it? No, I can't ignore it. I got to get out in front of it. I got to talk about it and I got to let people know what happened. So I did. Right. I'm not perfect, guys. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I've been to prison. I've been shot by the police. Right. I've had those experiences in my life. Right. I've never said that I was perfect. Right. I've never said that I'm like the person that you should role model your life after. I never said that. But when this person doxed me here on YouTube, I actually had to go on and make a video. You can see the video in my description to this video. It's called Response to the Haters. It's like over an hour long where I just talk about my life and I say, okay, you want to talk about my life? Let's talk about my life. Here we go. So it's a learning experience. You definitely have to get out in front of it. I think that if they would have said that back in October, hey, this cease and desist order is not real. It was made by one person. They paid $89 and they filed it in a court and it's not, and it hasn't been signed off on by anybody. If they would have said that, why didn't they just come out and say that? If they would have come out and say that, I think that could have saved them a lot of grief. I don't know, man. What do you think? Just silly stuff. I don't even think Corey is buying this. Yeah, did you guys see the part where she put her head down like this? When Dap said, hey, if you want to contact the SEC, go ahead and contact them. She goes, I caught that. I don't know. Did you caught that one? Blue Sky. So why do some people toss around the name of Christ in order to sway people's thoughts? And which Christ was she referring to? I read scriptures that warn of false Christ and false gospels, where that's the difference between you and other people, Blue Sky. You're actually reading the scriptures, right? A lot of people, they have a form of godliness, but they're not actually reading the scriptures. They're not actually doing what the scriptures say. So shout out to you for actually reading the scriptures. And the fact is, I get very, very wary and very leery about selling stuff and using Christ in order to sell your product. Right. I try to stay away from that myself. I'm a Christian too. You can see my testimony in the Response to the Haters video that I did. You know, I've had Christ physically heal my physical body. I've had awesome experiences with God and with the gospel. God has changed my life, turned my life around, but I'm not going to sit here and like use Christ to like pimp my company. You know what I mean? Like pimp my ride, Jesus edition. You know what I mean? I'm just not that guy. Darren, Blue Sky, exactly. Precious Love, my money is still in the trading account. Haven't lost any money yet. Okay, so that's what you think on it. So because you can see your money in the trading account, you think that you haven't lost it. I have a slightly different take on that. I think that the money's essentially gone if you cannot withdraw the money anymore, right? So do I hope that I'm able to get the money from Novatech? Yes, I do. Do I hope that I'm able to receive my money eventually from Novatech? Yes, of course. Right? I'm not going to stop hoping that. I'm not going to stop trying to do that. But my belief system is I've written it off as gone, Precious, because I am involved in other projects now, right? I'm making a lot of money in Vortic United right now. I'm doing good in C12 right now. I've got a brand new company that I'm a part of called Live Good. I'm really excited about it. New company in the health and wellness space. Super excited about it. Pays with crypto. It has a passive income feature. So I'm also in the stock market. I do Forex trading. I have my own trading course that I sell on here. You can get that link in the description for my trading course. So I do a lot. I'm very, very diversified with my funds. And what I do is that like if a platform stops paying, Precious, I write it off. Now, that doesn't mean that I've had platforms that went away and that eventually paid me in the future, and Novatech might be one of those, but I'm not going to sit here and hold my breath for a company that has got my funds on lockdown. Hopefully that makes sense, right? That's just where I'm coming from with it. And I totally respect where you're coming from your side, right? Like I said, I'm not a hater of Novatech. I'm a member of Novatech, right? I know that some people on here are like total Novatech haters. That's not me, right? I'm a member of Novatech, but I'm also not going to be the guy that says, hey, just have faith, just believe, whistle in the dark, everything's going to be okay. No, man, we got to call it like it is, and we got to have a plan. And I think that the plan is just listen, that money that you've got in Novatech, right? If it comes, great. If not, I wouldn't count on it. Let's try to diversify. Let's grow. Let's get into some other opportunities right now. If Novatech comes back, great, more power to them, right? But let's diversify. Never invest when we cannot afford to lose. Withdraw early, withdraw often, practice mental toughness. Let's develop a risk management strategy so that we can all be successful in this space, right? And if for those of us who did lose money in Novatech, if we lost the money, let that be a lesson, like a learned lesson. I'm not going to run away from the crypto space. I think we've got a good lot of money that we can still make in the crypto space. But we all have to understand that the crypto space is risky, and any of us could lose our money at any time. We all need to understand that going into it. Jennifer Roberts, all this speculation is totally counterproductive and premature. Payouts are slow, but still happening. I have patience and long-term vision. I'm not worried at all. Nothing has been lost. Well, that's your opinion, Jennifer, and you're entitled to your opinion. I don't think that talking about these things is counterproductive. I think that we ought to talk about it. We ought to hear differing opinions. We ought to be able to hear your opinion. We ought to be able to hear my opinion. We ought to be able to hear Lady Luck's opinion. Other people who have their opinions in the space, we ought to be able to hear them too. I believe in the free speech, right? We ought to be able to talk about what we want to talk about. Ricardo, what's up, Ricardo? Praying for the best. Me too, brother. No, nothing wrong with praying, right? I'm not against praying, right? Hoping, praying, that's all good. But what I am saying is pray, hope, and also develop a plan, develop a strategy, right? That's what I'm saying. Blue sky. I don't mean to be condescending, but I'm well aware of what excuses sound like. Anyone who has dealt with teenagers can clearly hear what's being said and not said. Yeah, there's a lot of excuses going on in space, guys. Anthony Phelps, God has nothing to do with this investment platform. Well, I tend to agree. I mean, my thing is, I don't think that we should bring God into like our jobs or what we're doing to make money. You know what I mean? Like, I think that it says in the Bible what we should and shouldn't be doing. Like, okay, for example, treat other people the way that you want to be treated, right? For, if your brother did something, go to your brother in private. Tell him what he did. And then if he repents, forgive him, right? All this stuff that's already in the word, it tells you what to do, right? So I don't think that we need to start bringing extra stuff, bringing God into the extra stuff. I know that the word says that we should work, and that as men, we should be providing for our families. I know that the word says that, right? So, but why do we need to say that, like God said, let there be Novatech, right? I mean, come on, man. That's kind of taking it to another level, I think. Danielle Jones, all you see is the numbers on the screen when you don't, and that's what we've been talking about, Danielle. Exactly. That's exactly it. Like, and the question is, do you because there's a lot of platforms that post numbers on the screen, but you can't get your money out, right? And unfortunately, right now, Novatech is one of those. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Blue sky, as a responsible adult, I am well aware that my money could vanish, but not being honest and not being accountable is what is unacceptable to me. I agree, man. I mean, they just should have communicated more, and they should have had better communication from the start, right? I mean, it's never too late, right? It's never too late to start communicating, but we have definitely not seen that yet, right? We've seen a lot of starts and stops. Like, they said that they were going to reopen up the accounts, but they had to backpedal on that and stop that, and then they quote unquote left the USA. Cynthia said she was going to start making weekly announcements, never actually started, right? So there's just been a lot of starts and stops, but we haven't seen any consistency. It's never too late to start building good consistency and good communication. Keith, the one thing still giving me hope is that they haven't closed shop. They could have done that long ago if they were going to. That's true, but they also may be under court order not to close down their website right now. That's another situation. Like, sometimes, guys, when the courts get involved, they will not allow you to make any moves, right? They're like, okay, you have to keep everything open. You have to keep all your books open because we're doing an investigation. You're not allowed to shut down your site. I'm not saying that's what's happening, but that could be part of the equation. Wayne, Dap and the other leaders on the chat meeting don't want us to say anything about our money. They don't want to talk about it, right? They don't want to talk about it because they feel like it's not positive, right? But it's like, I think if something is constructive, it's positive. That's my opinion. Blue Sky, I just cannot accept Novatech and its representatives talking in circles. I prefer to receive information straight with absolutely no chaser. Me too, man. And I've always had, maybe you're like me, maybe you've had people say to you that, your direct approach is a little bit harsh, a little bit mean, right? I've had that said about me a ton of times. Like, dude, you're too direct. It's just because I don't sugarcoat stuff, right? It is what it is, right? And I prefer people to communicate that way with me, right? Like, if I got a booger hanging out of my nose, just tell me, hey, dude, you got a booger hanging out of your nose. What's wrong with you? Go fix yourself, right? That's how I am, and that's how I tend to be. So I totally get you on that one. The Pothead, welcome the Pothead. I don't think I've seen Pothead on my chat before. Welcome. You guys in Novatech ever heard of BitConnect? It's the same thing. Why don't you elaborate a little bit? Was BitConnect something that I think I've heard of it, but it's not around anymore, right? Let me know in the chat. Wayne, the SEC knows about Novatech. The SEC knows about Novatech. We don't need to tell them. The government knows about almost everything. That's true. So the government knows. The government knows what's going on. It's just the question is, do we want to bother to deal with it, right? Unfortunately, the government can technically see me right now, right? If they want to, they could be watching this live right now. They could be listening to my phone conversation. They could be watching my text messages. None of us are. And if you guys haven't heard of the Snowden files, make sure that you look up the Snowden files. Basically, this guy was a CIA operative, and he basically left the United States. And then he said, hey, guys, they're watching you. They're watching everything they do. They have access to everything that you do, right? And so now he's a quote-unquote criminal because he told the secret that the government was using the Patriot Act to basically spy on its own people. But it's not even spying anymore. Everybody knows that the government is watching. It just depends on if they choose to go after you. And if they choose to go after Novatech, Novatech's going to be in a heap of trouble. Anybody who the government chooses to go after is in some trouble, guys. That's just the way that it is. Is it right? Is it wrong? Well, personally, I think it's wrong, right? But hey, it is what it is, guys. That's the world that we live in. Blue Sky, I'm thankful for channels like Unlimited Freedom that keep introducing me to more opportunities. Thank you, sir. And I appreciate you as well. Appreciate all you guys on my channel, man. I just like the fact that we can have somewhere where we can have an open discussion. We can have an open debate. We can have people with differing opinions, and we can all sit on here and talk, and we don't have to hate each other. We don't have to expose people, right? We can just have a talk, have a debate, and have it done respectfully. I mean, I think that's what we should be doing. Milton Novario, where is my comment go? LOL. I don't know. I didn't delete anybody's comments, but what I do know that happens sometimes with the comments is that other people on my channel, if you wrote an ignorant comment, other people on my channel, I've noticed they will report you. So it's not me reporting you, but it's other people on the channel. So let's just try to abide by the guidelines. Let's all try to give mutual respect, and we'll be good to go, guys. Oh, Lord, there he is. Oh, Lord, Eddie. I've been waiting for you, man. Where you been? Oh, no. Every day I log onto my computer, I look for Eddie. Because I know he's going to start with these Denver Nuggets comments. Man, what's going on? Hey, I will say this, man. The Lakers need to figure out how to stop the Joker. And, how to stop some other people on the Nuggets team. You got a dream team going on with the Nuggets right now. I will give credit where credit's due. I know that the Lakers have the ability. My Lakers have the ability, but right now I'm kind of mad at my Lakers, right? I'm not, my Lakers got to get it together. You don't go up against the Joker. You got to have your game face on if you're going to play against the Joker in the Denver Nuggets. You got to be ready with some defense if you're going to play against the Joker. You got to have AD on his game if you're going to play against the Joker. So what's going on, Eddie? I knew you were going to start on this. I knew it. I've been waiting for this. Okay, man, let's see how it goes. It ain't game over yet. Darren, the first red flag was the auto compound upgrade. I saw it right then and there and ignored it. Yeah, man, that could be. The auto compound thing kind of said that we would rather have you auto compounding than actually withdrawing, because people were withdrawing and they were making big withdrawals and they were making a lot of money for a long time with Novatech. I let me tell you where I'm at, guys. I'm in a net positive with Novatech, right? I've made more than I lost with Novatech because back in October, I did withdraw a large sum of money, and I was one of the last persons to actually get my withdrawal from my trading account. It came way later than it was supposed to. They said it was supposed to be 14 days. My account didn't come in until 35, 40 days before I got my withdrawal. And I thought that it was, I thought that it was a rug back then, because I said, well, I'm not going to get this withdrawal, but I did end up getting it. So I'm in a net positive with Novatech, but I know that I'm one of the few people that are like that. A lot of people still have, if Novatech like shut down today, a lot of people would be at a net loss with Novatech. And that's not where you want to be. With any of these platforms, guys, you want to make sure that you guys are in a net positive, not a net loss. And there's ways that you can do that. You can go look at my video, 5 risk management strategies that you can use when you're in these crypto platforms. And you can just watch my program, because I talk about risk management all the time. And I talk about ways to keep yourself so that you're making more than you're losing. Wayne, can you imagine we, the investors, are being blamed by these leaders in Novatech, non-communicating and misleading behavior? Yeah, I mean, that's an L for Novatech, man. Blaming the investors, that's a L. That's a huge L. And they're going to sit there and say that, hey, if you don't get your money, it's because one of you guys talked to the SEC. Really? Give me a break, man. Give me a break. Anytime you're doing business, you got to deal with the SEC. Anytime you're doing business, you got to deal with the FDIC. Anytime you're doing business, you got to deal with lawsuits. Hey, here's a news flash for you guys getting ready to go into business. You're going to get sued. Anybody who goes into business gets sued eventually if you grow. If you grow and you become successful, lawsuits will come, right? People will report you. That's part of being in business, right? And you got to know that going into it. You got to have a thick skin, and you also got to know how to communicate, and you got to know how to tell your side of the story. Blue Sky, it seems as though DAP is a close friend of the Novatech team. He seems very defensive when giving quote-unquote updates. He should have given straight facts with no emotion. Yeah, he's in it. He's in very deep, guys. DAP's got a lot of skin in the game. Wayne, this kind of behavior from DAP and the other leaders makes Christianity look bad. Oh, yeah. I mean, ever since the beginning of Christianity, there's been false people who made Christianity look bad. I mean, Peter made it look bad when he denied Christ 3 times, right? And then he had to repent and say, hey, man, I messed up, right? Do you love me? Yes. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Yes, I love you. Do you love me? Feed my sheep. Peter was the only person who Christ called 2 times. He said, follow me once. And then after he denied him, on the beach after the resurrection, he said, follow me again. Right. So there's going to be people who there's going to be people who put a bad name to it. That's always going to be with us. Vanita Whitehead, like Berry Trade, you see the money on the screen, but can never access it. Exactly. Are you happy about what is happening with Novatech? Good question. No, I'm not happy about it. Right? I'm not happy about it. I still have money in Novatech. I still have dear friends in Novatech. I still have family in Novatech. I'm not against Novatech. Right? But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to just be super real with where we're at right now. And you've got to look at the evidence. And right now, the evidence is not looking good. Right? And I think that we could probably all agree on that. Right? I'm all for hope, and I'm all for prayer, and I'm all for belief, and I'm all for faith. And I would love to see Novatech succeed. I would love to see Novatech come back from this. Right? All I'm saying is that right now it's not looking good. Blue Sky, people must understand that when participating in these types of endeavors, there is no one to run to if the bottom falls out. Just pivot to your other investments. Yeah, and that's what I try to teach here, Blue Sky. I mean, I try to teach here that, hey, look, there's no safety net here, right? There's no insurance policy that's going to save you, right? If you invest into a company like Novatech, and I feel sorry for the people who didn't know this, but if you invest with a company like Novatech, 100% of your capital is at risk and you could lose it. Right. And if you didn't realize that going into it, then I feel bad for you. Right. And I'm sorry that they didn't tell you that when you got involved. The pothead. It's crazy how they use too much religion to scam you guys. They're going to hell. OK, well, I mean, here's the thing, man. Not everybody got scammed. Like I, for one, did not get scammed by Novatech because I knew what Novatech was getting into it. Right. I knew that there was a risk to lose my money. I don't get scammed by any crypto platform because I know that there's always a risk to lose. Like as long as you play your cards right, man, and as long as you play your risk management strategy right, you can make a lot of money with crypto platforms. You can make a lot of money in the crypto trading space. You can make a lot of money in trading in general. Right. So it's all in how you look at it. If you want to look at everything as a big scam, you have the right to do that and you have the right to your opinion. but I've made a lot of money in this space, bro. Right. And because I know that, hey, nothing is for certain, right? Nothing is guaranteed here. Right. But there's ways to do it where you can come out in a net positive, like I did with Novatech and like I do with a lot of the platforms that I'm involved with. Just silly stuff. What's up, my boy? I got your email. I'll send you my number tomorrow and let's link up on Monday. Cool. Yeah, definitely, man. I would love to link up. Anybody who wants to talk to me, man, feel free to shoot me an email. My email's in the description, links in the description to the video. Also, link to every platform that I'm involved in is in the description to the video. So if you guys want to look into some diversification, you can check it out in the description. You can also check out my other videos because Novatech obviously is not the only platform that I talk about on here. We talk about a lot here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Blue Sky, CP's emotional rant about raining down wrath worse than God was very telling. When she made that statement, I had a flashback of the captain who fled the Costa Concordia as it was sinking. Wow, man. Yeah, you don't say that, man. Like I don't like there's that's a weird thing to say. I'm gonna rain down on you harder than the wrath of God. I mean, that's almost like sacrilege to say that. You know what I mean? Like, dude, like you're at this point, you're just like you're lashing out at your own people, and that is so. Somebody said earlier about being counterproductive. I think that's counterproductive to lash out at your own people. That's funny. The Pothead, Novatech X coming soon, guys. Get ready to invest again. Well, at this point, man, if Cynthia and Eddie launch a new platform, man, I'm going to want to see people get paid back from Novatech before I go and join a new platform with them. But I like your I like your sense of humor there, man. All right. Outdamud. I'm trying to say your name right. Outdamud. Forgive me if I got it wrong. Lots invested into this personally. All the speculation is a negative. It isn't doing anything for Novatech either. They have issues. ATM, and the best thing to do is be patient. They are not gone, and people are still getting paid slowly but surely. Okay, I mean, look, man. Let me just give you my thoughts on that. I don't think there's anything wrong with talking about what's going on at Novatech. I don't think, there, of course, there's some speculation out there. Of course, some people are going to have a negative take on things, but it's not our fault that Novatech is going through problems. It's not the fault of the people who are talking about it, right? It's not the fault of the people who are discussing the issues, right? And I just totally, don't buy into that idea that don't buy into the idea that if something bad happens at Novatech, it's like all the fault of people talking about it or being negative. Because frankly, that's a load of crap. Okay. The problems that are happening at Novatech have to do with the management of Novatech and have to do with the problems that they're receiving from these cease and desist orders. That's it, and that alone. Okay. Danielle Jones, I do not believe anyone's getting paid until I do. Outmund, just have to keep the faith. Trust me. No communication and something happening every month is definitely a headache and discouraging. But like I said, keep the faith. Well, you've got every right to do that, man. You've got every right to have your opinion, and other people has every right to have their opinion as well. It's okay to talk about it. What other platforms that you recommend? Rick, shout out to Rick for the question. What other platforms do I recommend? Man, I'm in a lot of platforms right now. I recommend right now, basically, I don't recommend anything. I recommend you doing all your own due diligence. I don't want to sit here and tell you guys what to do. Let me tell you some of my favorite platforms right now, though. Vortic United I'm loving Vortic United right now. It's probably my number one favorite. I'm in one called Carnelian 12 that's 12% per day. But of course, that's a super high risk platform. Higher the risk, the higher reward. Carnelian 12 is 12% a day for 12 days. So you get 12% a day on your crypto for 12 days. And I've been in, I'm going into my 4th cycle. So my 4th 12-day cycle where I've been getting 12% a day on my crypto. I've made a ton of money with Carnelian 12. Also with Vortic United, I'm making a ton of money in daily profit at this point. I've got 8 different portfolios. You can learn all about these platforms in my description, and you can also look at my other videos. Just go to the Unlimited Freedom Network channel, click on videos, and you can see actual full-length presentations that I've done on every single platform that I'm a part of. I'm involved in GS Partners, which is kind of like a crypto bank, and it's got a lot of cool passive income opportunity. I'm involved in something called Project 25, where I'm getting paid 25% on my crypto. I'm involved in something called Sportsbook Partners, where I've partnered with a sportsbook to make money off the house and not make money by betting, but I actually make money off the sportsbook. I get paid about 1% a day from Sportsbook Partners. I'm in something called Coin Market Bull, which is a crypto trading bot. It's an actual robot that trades on the crypto markets, and it makes about 1.2% a day. I've been having a lot of success with that crypto bot. You have to lease the bot for $50, and then you make about 1.2% a day using the trading bot. I'm in a company called QP. That's another trading bot. I'm in a company called CloudFi. That's another trading bot. I'm in a company called FinTalk, which is a deregulated borrowing and lending organization, which I really like. FinTalk. If you guys haven't checked that out, make sure you check out FinTalk. The link is in the description. Also, make sure you check out my videos that I did on FinTalk. I'm going to be doing some videos on FinTalk, so stay tuned for that. But you have to have a VPN because you cannot access FinTalk in the United States. It's not a problem for me because I have homes in other countries, and currently I'm not in the United States. But it's really cool because it's like, you know how it's super hard to get a loan at the bank. Well, this FinTalk thing, it allows us, like we the people, to provide liquidity for loans for each other, and we also, we make 1% a day on those loans that we loan out, and it's super easy to use. It's super simple. And at first, you make 1% a day for your first 7 days when you loan out money, and then you start making 1.5%. So you can basically loan out money and make a percentage, which that's been done since forever, right? It's just now we're doing it in the DeFi space. Which is another reason why regulators, they hate crypto, guys. They're going to be passing laws against crypto because they want to be in control. And when we're doing our own banks, we're doing our own DeFi, we're doing our own loans, things like that, it gives the control back to us, and the powers that be do not like that. What else? I'm involved in a health and wellness company called Live Good that I'm super excited about. It's got a passive income component because Live Good actually puts people under you. So the sooner you get into company, the more people they're going to put under you automatically. And you've got the opportunity, even if you never mention the product, even if you never sell the product, you've got an opportunity to get up to $2,000 a month in passive income just from joining early. Make sure you check out Live Good. Also, they've got great products, by the way. If you're into sports, if you're into fitness like I am, great products. CBD oil, they've got the highest, most potent CBD oil at the lowest price. Right, $18 for the most potent CBD oil. You can't beat their prices, right? So I'm really excited about that one. I'm a Forex trader. I'm a high frequency Forex trader. I launched a trading course. You can get it in my description. Also, you can join me on Patreon. I do weekly trading sessions where I trade in the markets for you guys. I wrote a book called The Power of Leadership. You can get that on there. I've done some interviews. I've done some responses to the haters. All that's linked up in the description, guys. You can check that out. That's a great question, man. Thank you for that question. Todd, what's up, Todd? Your money is gone. Time to accept it. Plenty of people told you guys how obvious the scam is. I'm amazed how many of you fell for this. How many red flags do you need? So once again, Todd, like part of the reason why I do this is it's because I know what I'm doing when I get into it, right? So it's like, of course, something could rug pull at any time. Of course, we could lose our investment at any time. But that's part of the risk that I take when I get involved with these types of platforms. So I know that going into it, and I tell my people going into it that that's a risk. So I don't feel that I've been scammed, right? I understand how some people could feel that way. But as long as you practice your risk management principles and you make more profit than you have lost, then you're in a net victory and you're in the space the right way. And that can totally be done. Right. So I don't see it as a scam. And I think a lot of other people don't see it as a scam either. They see it as crypto trading, right? And they see it as the DeFi space, the crypto trading space, the crypto platform space. It's a new technology. So a lot of people who still have an old school mindset, it's easy to call it a scam, right? Fernandad, my worry. Danielle, net positive here. Unfortunately, my downline was greedy and left their money in there. So Danielle, for my downline, I've got some people in there who have also are going to lose money if Novatech goes under. So I completely know how you feel. Some of them are my family. Some of them I feel bad because I literally put them in a headlock and made them join, something that I'll never ever do again. I've totally learned my lesson on that. That was a huge mistake. Totally feel you. And I also appreciate you being so active on my channel. All of your comments, it does not go unnoticed. I appreciate your support a ton. Darren, NT turns tail and runs every time. Yeah, man. And also thank you to you. I appreciate all your support on my channel. Pastor Butler, Facts 100, God is not in it. We are in it, and our money is. Well said, brother. I appreciate you, Pastor. I think one of the issues is, we got to get back to the word. We got to get back to just sticking to what the word says and stop going into, a lot of extra biblical stuff because it's too subjective. We know, you and I can agree right now, love thy neighbor as thyself. We can agree on that, right? Love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love thy neighbor as thyself. If you see somebody hungry, feed them. Right? The Good Samaritan, this stuff that's already in the word, we can agree on how to live our lives. We don't need to go extra and be like, God told me to make Novatech. Come on, man. We don't need that. That's extra. Eddie, thanks for keeping us updated. Thank you, Eddie. I always appreciate you here. Go Lakers. Eddie, I did get a 5-1 withdrawal from my bonus, but my 424 withdrawal is still pending. I find that off. It is off. There's no rhyme or reason to it right now. It's like a totally shotgun approach, totally sporadic. I'm glad that people are still getting their payments. But hey, like the video, guys. Nobody else is bringing you the same kind of sauce that I'm bringing you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. Do Exquisite. I got paid recently also. Yeah, totally. I mean, some people have been getting paid. The issue that I have is that we don't have access to our funds, right? We don't have, maybe you can get a little bit here and there, a little breadcrumb now and then, but that's not good enough, right? That's just my opinion. Also, I know in this space that slow pay eventually turns to no pay, right? And so I know that happens here. And I don't want it to happen with Novatech, but we're seeing the trend. All right. Kaja Tours and Travel. Are they starting new platform or are they upgrading Novatech FX? It could be either or, man. Darren, no one I know is getting paid, including me. 5 stacked up now, over 10K. Please feed the kids for me, preacher. I hear you, bro. Frank Rizzo, just say it like it is. What other Ponzi's do you recommend? Well, you have to show me the proof that it's actually a Ponzi, and I don't think you have the proof, right? So you're just at that point, you're just name calling, right? It's like the people who come on here and call me a career criminal. Okay, whatever. You can call me whatever you want, man. I mean, you're not the first person who's called me that. You won't be the last, right? Call me a big Ponzi promoter. Call me whatever you want. I tell you that what I'm doing is I'm involved in crypto trading. I'm involved in crypto platforms. I know the risks that are involved. Yeah, you can buy my trading course, dude. There's proof in there, right? Go to the link in my description. Purchase. Let's see if you're really so dead set on believing the hype and believing the negative. Go get my trading course. Check it out for yourself, and then tell me if I'm the truth or if I'm just false. If I'm just a big liar. Okay. But as long as you keep it respectful in my comments, dude, I don't care. You can believe whatever you want, and I will respect you. I respect your opinion, right? Just as long as we don't get into going too far with it. Okay. And unfortunately, some of you guys on here have mental problems and you go too far with stuff. Larry, you can't beat their prices, nor can you verify the quality of their products. I'm not sure what you're talking about there. Blue Sky, just to clarify, did I hear you say your course is suitable for beginners? Thanks. Yeah, you never have had to trade a day in your life. I literally take you through A, B, C, D, the exact broker to use, exactly how to set up the broker, exactly how to set up the indicators, exactly how to read the indicators, exactly when to enter the trade, the exact timing of it. And you basically, if you do everything A, B, C, D, you rinse and repeat. And you can also join my live trading sessions where I show you my trades. And you can sit there and watch me do the strategy. So I teach you the strategy, and then I sit there and do the strategy, make money, make real money in the market so that you can see that it works. And it's totally achievable, it's attainable, sustainable. It's how I was able to make more than I ever made before. Corey, cringe when they use God as their reason. Yeah, that's a cop out to me too, man. Even though I'm a believer, right? But I don't like. I don't think that I'm more special than anybody else. I think that we're, God is gracious and he loves everybody. You know what I mean? And anything that anybody has is a gift that's been given to them. Right. So I'm not going to sit here and say, God told me to do this and that and the other thing, and you need to listen to me because God told me. That's manipulation, man. In my opinion, that's manipulation. Frank Rizzo, show me proof of the trading. Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, whenever you want to see it, it's there in my description. Eddie, Vortic shows you trades. That's true. Vortic does actually show the trades. Which I love Vortic United, by the way, man. Shout out to you for bringing that up. They're such a cool platform. I'm doing so good in Vortic United, man. I'm just so happy and grateful to be a part of that. Kajaj Tours and Travel, which platform pays 12% a day that you were in? It's oh yeah, no, Frank. I mean, you're right, dude. They don't. They're very secretive about it. I'm not disputing that, right? I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that they're, I'm not sitting here defending them, but I'm also like not going all the way on the other side either, right? Like I've always said, if it was a Ponzi, they should have gotten out in October. They would have had billions more than they do now. So the 12%, it's called C12, and it's a high risk, high reward platform. Don't get into that one if you're risk adverse. It could be gone any day. But like I said, I've gone through 3 cycles. I'm going into my 4th cycle where I've been making 12% a day on my crypto. Which they use both a trading bot technology and they also have human traders. Larry Williams, my comment was about Live Good. Well, I mean, look, dude, try it out. It doesn't cost much to try it out. Don't knock it till you'll try it. I mean, I think that I'm very excited about the Live Good products. I mean, dude, I spend so much money at Walgreens and GMC and all that. Like, I'm super excited about getting the discounts with Live Good. I'm super excited about getting into their products, using their products. If it's a big load of crap, then I'll come on here and say that that's what it is. But so far, I haven't seen anything to indicate that. So I'm really excited about Live Good. I've got a lot of good stuff like in the works with that company. Vaughn, don't be distracted. Wayne says, Vaughn, don't be distracted by the haters. Just keep telling the truth. Oh no, dude, I'm not distracted. I don't mind. Like I had to draw a line, right? I mean, when this guy came on here and doxed me and like went into my personal life, like that was weird to me. That was like borderline stalker, borderline like internet mental illness obsession. Right. So if it starts going into that, then I'm going to block you. Right. But if you have a different opinion than me, go for it. All right, guys, let's get into the Q&A. All right. This is one from John Watson 6 days ago. He said, LOL, what are you smoking? You love it, John. You love it. You love it. I don't need to smoke anything. I was born this way, right? I'm on the right track, baby. I wake up like this, right? I woke up like this. Dan Ovids. This is what happens to companies that empower the people and have to deal with stupid tax and power obsessed socialists in power in the US and Canada. Yeah, I mean it's not, yeah, and it is that, man. I mean, it's the crackdowns, it's so sad. And I was saying this in one of my videos. It's so sad that, the Constitution of the United States starts out with the words "we the people," and yet now they're the most, it's the hardest country to like actually go out and be free, and they call it the land of the free, and it's like you can't do anything. They're watching you 24/7, and anything that they do, it's like they're just waiting to say that you're doing something wrong. And I mean, even look at the people in the chat, look at the people in the comments. They're like, "Oh, you're doing something illegal." It's like, how do you know that, right? I mean, who gave you your law degree? This is one on CoinMarketBull. Great presentation. Is the daily profit 7 days a week or 5 days a week? CoinMarketBull pays 7 days a week. Question: after 12-day cycle, do you withdraw the 44% and the principal left automatically to continue trading? Is there anything you need to do to restart the next cycle? And that's a question about C12. No, you can. That C12 has a reinvest button now. So after you get your 12% a day, you can hit reinvest and like reinvest in compound. You can do that if you want. Just be careful because it's a super risky platform, guys. Super risky platform. Here's a question about Novatech. If you agree with their move to go overseas so that they can keep operating, why do you think they won't be able to start paying out again? I believe it's a liquidity issue and they've lost the money. But if you think moving overseas will be helpful for the company, why? Well, yeah, it's going to be helpful for the company because you can operate overseas without having these regulators constantly dragging you into court. That's why it's going to be helpful for the company. I mean, that's it, right? And a lot of the companies, I always feel better with the companies that actually operate overseas, unfortunately, because that they're not going to be having these legal issues. So that's why I think the overseas move is a good idea. It's a question about CoinMarketBull. Does support respond to their investors? Not really. I mean, CoinMarketBull, actually, they just released a new support email. And let me see if I can get that email for you guys real quick, because they are working on getting better support, but they have had terrible support in the past. But the thing is, they have admitted that their support is bad, and they're working on getting it better. So let me see if I can find the new email. Let me see if I can find it here. I know that that BOJ put out an update. Bank of Gerald, shout out to Bank of Gerald. Awesome guy, friend of mine, colleague of mine, great guy. Put out an update that gave the new email address for support. So if you're really actually interested in contacting their support, check out that video. Also, next time I do an update on CoinMarketBull on here, then I will add that. Here's an update on C12. They said, Vaughn, last week they raised the max investment to 60K. So that would be so let's say that you put 60K into C12. Okay, times you make 12% a day on that. For 12 days. So that puts your ending balance at $86,400 minus the 60K. So in 12 days, you made $26,400. That's a lot of, I'll say that's a lot of opportunity, right? That's what I'll say. All right, here's a comment on C12. In 2 days, I'll have my principal back. I'm so happy. I'll reinvest the rest for now and withdraw a minimum amount. Great. Yeah, I'm glad that you got your principal back. That's the way to do it. First thing you want to do with any of these platforms, guys, is get your seed money out, right? Your seed money needs to come out first. So if you invest $1,000 into something, you want to make back that $1,000 as soon as possible. And then at that point, you're playing with house money. I know that it's starting to get late, guys, and some of you guys are jumping off. on your way out, do me a favor and hit the like button. Nobody else is bringing you the same kind of sauce that I'm giving you here at the Unlimited Freedom Network. So do me a favor, hit the like button, help me grow the channel. You know, there's a lot of people out there who hate us for whatever reason, and they just want to see us fail. So help me out to grow the channel by hitting the like button. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. All right, here's one on Capital X. Any more updates on Capital X? So the latest I know from Capital X is that they were hacked and that I've got over $3,000 sitting in pending status. I do not think about Capital X anymore as far as I'm concerned. It's a rug pull. All right, here's a question about the trading course. Hey, Vaughn, quick question about your trading course. Is it beginner friendly or is it more for folks who've at least attempted trading in the past? So it's very beginner friendly, guys. It's very beginner friendly. In fact, if you are a true beginner, you're truly new to trading, it's actually probably you'll be more teachable because you're not bringing in any preconceived notions. You're coming to the course and you're doing exactly what I lay out for you to do. You'll actually probably be more teachable, and therefore you might actually get better results. Don B said, thank you for bringing us so many different platform options and opportunities, Vaughn. C12 has been a breath of fresh air, about to start another cycle. Thank you, man. Appreciate your comment. Here's one for favorite music man, rolling on the floor, laughing. I want some of that energy you got. Hey, man. I don't know. Sometimes I just get excited about stuff, guys. What can I say? Here's one. So I got to the description. I see one link for your book, but I want the link to join the new company, and I don't see it. So what you did is you went to the description of the actual channel rather than going to the description of the video. So if you want links to all of my stuff that I'm doing and all my opportunities, you have to go to the actual description of the videos. So underneath this video, there's a description. Then you hit the word more information. Boom. It pulls up the drop-down menu, and you can see a list of all the opportunities involved. If you go to my description of the channel, you're only going to see the link to the book. So make sure that you guys are going to the description of the actual videos. Here's a question on C12. Do you think it's not too late to invest? Yeah, I mean, as long as the platform's around, it's not too late to invest. The thing is, we don't know how long it's going to be around, and any day it could go away. And as long as that's your mindset and you never invest anything that you cannot afford to lose, you're going to do fine. Some of you guys are hating on me for the shouting, or you're just like, dude, I can't listen to you. You shout too much. Well, sometimes I do, guys. Sometimes I shout. That's just who I am, man. You know, I am who I am. My family's Italian. I'm Italian. You know, it just comes with the territory. We're passionate people. We talk with our hands. We shout. We get loud. It's just how it is, guys. I mean, I'm not always going to shout, but there's going to be times when I shout. You know, it's just I can't change it. That's just how I am. All right, this is a question on Project 25. Is specific browser required? Is a VPN allowed? Unable to access content? Yeah, you just try again. You know what I mean? Maybe the thing was just frozen, but I've never had it. You know, well, I think it does kind of depend on where you are. I think some areas of the world you might have a problem, but if you do have a VPN, just try to log in from like a Western country or something like that. Here's a question on C12. That C12 is a popular platform, guys. I think it's just because there's so much opportunity to make a lot of money really fast. That's one of the reasons why it's so popular. Rick, the trading course is $299. Okay, and then I also do a supplementary Patreon channel for $49 a month, where I post every week. I post a trading session so that you guys can see me actually execute the strategy. All right. So this is a question on C12. Is there a snowball's chance these guys might keep rolling for a while? I'm not putting any more risk in, but I will roll with it, baby. Yeah, you can roll with it. Of course there's a chance. It's just, it's such a high risk platform that, it's like, don't be surprised if you log on one day and it's not there, right? I mean, it's 12% a day for 12 days. I mean, that's only in the crypto space, right, guys? Only in the crypto space can you get those kinds of returns. Here's one on Novatech FX. Novatech FX is from Poochie Up. I just received my May 1 withdrawal that was pending. Okay, it is now May 21st, and you just received your May 1 withdrawal. It's scattershot. It's scatterbrained. I mean, slow pay usually turns into no pay. I'm not happy with the scattergunned approach that they're using right now. I want to see some consistency, right? Let's see how they handle this stuff with the United States. Let's see what they do moving forward, guys. I don't know at this point. I mean, all I can say is that, I'm not counting my money in Novatech right now. That's all I can say. Here's one from Grumpy McGrump. The folks most likely to get money out of Novatech are government regulators and lawyers. Right. The lawyers always get the money. Young passive affiliates. I like the ram the point home style of presentation. I know how people don't really listen and some don't like change, so it needs a verbal slap to get the point across. That was a comment from Young Passive Affiliates. Shout out to Young Passive Affiliates. And mental note here, mental reminder, I want to make sure that I check out your channel and join your channel because I don't think I've subscribed to Young Passive Affiliates, but I would definitely like to check out your channel. Blue Sky, Vaughn, links. Just an FYI, when I'm on my phone, I have to click the word more 2 times. The first time opens the description area partially. The second time I can see all the links. Okay, so there's a good shout out. Appreciate the shout out, Blue Sky. If you're on your phone, you might have to push it twice, guys. Good shout out on that one. Here's one from Esme Chin. Novatech should have seen this coming after Canada closing them and be like the other companies that blitzkrieg Asia first and leave US and Canada last because it's such an unfriendly crypto country. Why you all still vote for Biden, I don't understand. Clearly, this government is hell-bent on stamping out crypto. Oh, that's not just Biden, brother. That's all of them. Novatech should move their business to Asia, who embrace this type of network marketing companies that were too reliant on US and Canada, unlike its competitors or the likes of Binance, who conquers the world and leaves US last. So now if US closes it, so what? They will still survive with or without poor US and Canadians. Your government just don't want the ordinary folks to benefit from crypto, and other countries will be the leaders for crypto innovations. You should vote your government out, period. Why do you tolerate an unfriendly tech government is beyond me. Well, here's why. Because the government has like F-15 fighter planes, right? The government has artillery. The government has, weapons that we can't even fathom, right? There's nothing we can do, right? The government's already in total control. They've already got this unstoppable military. You're not going to be able to defeat the United States government in war. And what you're talking about is a complete revolution. It's not going to happen, right? That's just, and because our government, unfortunately, has become very controlling. They want to control people, and they don't like crypto. And then what you said about the, these opportunities and, the rest of the world benefiting from it is really very true. Crypto innovation is very true, guys. This whole idea of like lending people money and then getting 1% returns every single day, this has been going on for a long time. A lot of my countrymen got a really, really bad rap in the United States of America because they were lending money to their own people, right? There were a lot of immigrants came over from Sicily, came over from Italy, lending money to their own people, watching out for their own families, looking out for their own neighborhoods, doing personal loans and things like that. And the United States didn't like that because the United States felt like they weren't getting their cut. Right, they're getting their cut in the taxes, right? So, these Italian Americans couldn't get a loan from the banks, so they were giving loans to each other, and and a lot of the families made a lot of money by providing, a 1% a day. Well, like here, I'll give you a loan, you pay me back 1% a day with interest, we're good to go, right? And that there was a whole community thriving because of that. A lot of my countrymen went to jail. A lot of my countrymen got labeled as gangsters and things like that because they were just living their lives and they were taking care of their community. You see what I'm saying? So this is not the first time that this stuff has happened, right? This is always going to be that way. All right, let's see what else we got here. Wayne Gray, where is her brother that has a security clearance? Who knows, man? You know, I made a joke and said he's somewhere in India in a bunker, but I don't know. Who knows where he is? Here's another one. Are you going to have a Telegram app? I really don't have any plans right now to have a Telegram app. I know that Telegram apps can be good for communicating, you know, with the team and stuff like that. But as far as my team goes, you guys all know where to find me, right? Just go to the Unlimited Freedom Network YouTube channel. I'm on here all the time. I try to answer all of my comments, as many as I can, at least. I try to do these live videos at least once a week, right? Where we go back and forth and we talk and we chat it up in the chat. So it's not like I'm hard to get a hold of, right? My email address is there in the description. So right now I don't feel a need to start a Telegram group. I really enjoy what I've got going on here at YouTube. And I'm really happy and grateful for, you know, for the platform here. So I don't really have a desire to do Telegram right now. J. Paul, nothing lasts forever. That is the truth. Nothing lasts forever. Warren Fenwick. Hey, Vaughn, you meant CNN instead of Fox News, making opinions. Otherwise, I enjoyed your candid, very humorous comments. Keep up the good work. Yeah, listen, guys, let me just officially say, I don't watch CNN. I don't watch Fox. I don't watch any of them. I don't care, right? You know, if something huge has happened in the world, I'll see it in my local newspaper, right? I don't buy into any of that stuff, guys. Frankly, I think it's a waste of time. You just sit there in front of the TV and get mad, right? You listen to these commentators and they just make you angry, right? That's not good. What good's going to come out of that? Black Rose, what are your top passive income streams, especially in the crypto space? I just answered that one. Daniel Lenhard, thanks for keeping it raw and real. How many cups of coffee did you have? So I have maybe about 2 cups of coffee a day, but a lot of my energy comes from the fact that I work out, right? And I sometimes I do a nice big workout on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And after that, I'm like lit for the whole rest of the day, right? Because I do cardio, I do resistance, right? I focus on all the different muscle groups, like an hour and a half, 2 hour long workout. And it's just like, so I got super ton of energy when I do those. Daryl Scott, my man, the sauce is good. Thank you, Daryl. If you guys are getting some sauce out of this, hit the like button. You know we're here for the sauce. Here's one from SAA Alpha. Novatech is not the only platform trying to stay under the regulators' radar. Well, it's too late for that, bro. And these so-called investors running to the same government that's trying to keep you from making money playing victim when they knew the risk in the crypto space. Yeah, but once again, dude, you're kind of blaming the investors at that point. And I don't really think it's their fault. I think that if Novatech would have communicated better and would have, you know, just had some things in place, it wouldn't have gotten to the point that it got. Thank you for the comment, though. Here's one. And here it is. Well, now we know you are the leader of Nova haters. No one saw that coming. Why did it take you so long to reveal your true identity? Is that a joke? I mean, I never said I hate Novatech, right? I'm not trying to be the leader of the Novatech haters. Novatech haters don't like me, right? The hardcore Novatech fans get annoyed by me. And the Novatech haters think that I'm just a Ponzi promoting criminal, right? So I can't get a break here, right? Bruce D, I have to agree more now. If I get some cash out of Novatech, great. Otherwise, I'm moving on. I'm over it. Not against them pulling through, but we've been there already. I completely agree, bro. That's exactly where I'm at. This is a comment on Project 25. Hey, Vaughn, curious if you know how these changes protect and make Project 25 private, or is it the first step and there's more to come? Thanks for your channel. Yeah, I think Project 25 just wants to try to go private because they don't want to have to deal with the stuff, frankly, the stuff that Novatech's dealing with right now. People like blowing the whistle on them and then having the government come in and check their books and all this other stuff. It really is a hassle, guys. Like if the IRS was going to audit you, wouldn't you want to do something to kind of like avoid that happening? You know, even if it meant taking your company private, I would. Anybody else? VidiLook scam, Novatech scam, LOL. Not one program y'all got for 5 to 6 years is not a scam. Well, you could call anything a scam, man. I mean, you could call the Federal Reserve a scam. You can call the Federal Reserve a Ponzi scheme. You can call anything a scam or a Ponzi scheme, bro. It's all in how you handle it, right? The companies don't last forever, especially these high risk crypto companies in the crypto trading space. Crypto trading, there's a lot of risk involved here. I think pretty much everybody who's involved realizes that there's risk, right? So you're just kind of, at this point, it's like, okay, you're just calling something a scam to call it a scam. You probably don't even know what a scam is. It's like one man's scam is another man's crypto company. You know what I mean? Here's one from Wes Raven. Novatech at this point will only be remembered for its effort to blame everyone else for its demise. Isn't that sad? I have grown to hate Novatech because the CEO and a handful of the top messengers are absolutely disgraceful. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with Cynthia Pettion being completely silent. And then, the whole, other people stepping in and trying to take the leadership role and then trying to turn it into a big church revival, Novatech revival church meeting. Not the direction that I would have gone in. This is one on ETF pool. Hey, Vaughn, did you catch the meeting? I had another meeting to attend, so I missed it. If you got the sauce, let us know. Yeah, so ETF pool is a new one. It's a new platform. Really cool crypto trading platform. I've got a nice sum of money invested with ETF pool. And I did a full-scale presentation here on my channel. And what happened is over the weekend, one weekend, the site went down because it's just so many people were joining at the same time. So they needed to upgrade their servers. They have done that. The site is back online. It seems to be working fine. So everything is looking good with ETF pool. It's working much faster now. I'm looking forward to this coming week to see some more growth because I have 2 accounts with ETF pool. One of them is a compound account, and that thing is growing crazily, man. I mean, the amount of money I'm making in that, God. The trick is you got to hold on to it for 6 months. So you have to believe that ETF pool will be around for at least 6 months. Right, but it's compounding and really making a lot of money. And then I also have just a regular trading account where I'm able to withdraw the profits every day. Crypto trading, passive income, ETF pool. It's a good one. Link in the description. Here's one about the trading course from Leon. How's everything, man? Trying to find the link on when you start a live day trade for once a week from your channel. I'm studying FX trading now, so very interested in watching you day trade on strategies and watching the chart. So during the trading session, I probably do 20 to 30 trades, right? We're talking about high frequency binary options Forex trading. And the trading session is only released on my Patreon channel, which is a pay for channels. It costs $49 a month to join my Patreon channel to see those trading videos, right? And then the trading course itself is $2.99. Here's a comment from Lady Luck Club. Please do a debate with DAP. I will help you prep. Holy crap, let that happen. Yeah, man, I don't think that DAP is going to want to do a debate, right? I'd be happy to have him on and talk to him. I would love to talk to him, ask him some tough questions. We could sit down there and, shoot the breeze, talk Novatech, right? And really do that, really get into the tough, hardball questions. But it just doesn't seem to me like he wants to do that. He's more like the guy who just doesn't want to talk about the problems, right? Or just wants to say, hey, it's all good. Have faith. Everything's going to be okay. He's coming from that type of a mentality. And so it's hard with somebody with that mentality to actually sit down with you and get really into the nuts and bolts of the situation. I think it'd be a good debate, right? I think it'd just be a good conversation, right? Here's a good mindset one from Team Machine. He's talking about Novatech. He said, bro, so true. LOL, emotional roller coaster. Unfortunately, I have 60K in my own money in there, and that's over 100K now in there with over 20K in pending withdrawals. I'll make that 60K back, and I'm okay with losing it. I knew the risk. So that's a good position to be in. Now, if he or she was able to risk 60K, that means that you must be doing all right for yourself, right? Because that's a lot of money to risk, and that's a lot of money to be okay with losing. But everybody's threshold of risk is different. But the thing that I want to touch on this comment is that you've got the right mindset, right? Your mindset is a mindset of that's the mindset you have to have in this space, right? Once you deposit money into a platform, that platform has that money. You no longer have that money. So there's a certain amount of risk involved. There's a certain amount of trust that has to be involved. And there's a certain amount of, basically, you don't know, like the worst thing that could happen is the platform could never give you your money, right? And we've seen that happen in some of the platforms on here. So you just have to practice your risk management. There's a question on my Patreon page. Where's your Patreon page info? I don't see it. It's there in the description. Just go through the description. It's about midway down. Here's one by Jason Hall. I really don't understand this comment. He says, listen to yourself carefully. That's part of the reason why you call your soapbox unlimited freedom. UOEN. So I really don't know what he's saying there, but at least I appreciate you checking out the video. I appreciate you dropping a comment. Here's one from David Santana. Hi, respect. Respect to you, sir. Respect back to you as well. Here's one from Johnny B. Man, government gonna shut them down. They have to ruin everything. They literally just don't want people to make or have any money at all. Guys, did you know that there's this huge number of people? It's a crazy number. It's like 99% or something. Like this huge number of Americans have less than $1,000 in their bank account, right? That doesn't work, right? That shows a problem. Right, that statistic shows a real problem, guys. But yeah, the government they want you to run their life that they laid out for you. Go to school, either go to college or go to trade school. Get yourself a job or a trade or a career, but whatever it is, you're going to be working until you're old, and then at that point, you get on your little Social Security. Right, the whole time you're paying taxes, they're automatically taking money up out of your check. Automatically taking their taxes, and you're just a good little soldier for their machine that they've made, right? You know what I mean? It's not the worst life in the world, but it's certainly, I wouldn't call that unlimited freedom. I wouldn't call that freedom, right? I would call that you're kind of being controlled at that point. I don't know. What do you guys think? Here's one from Dano Vids. If payouts completely stop, so does the platform eventually. I am running out of oxygen, holding my breath on Novatech. Is Novatech turned into NOVATECH? Yeah, man. I mean, look, man. I wouldn't be holding my breath at all. I'm not holding my breath at all with Novatech at this point, guys. I am not expecting anything out of Novatech. I just feel that's better for my own health, right? Hey, if they pay out, great. If not, I'm already over it. I'm already past it. I'm already involved in a lot of other projects. So here's a good question about the new Vortic United. Great presentation. I like your style. What do you mean by the new compounding system in Vortic United? So basically, guys, Vortic United has added a reinvest button, right? He's added a reinvest. Jensen Robles from Vortic United has added a reinvest button. And so what that means is that you can now compound. So if you've got like $1,000 in there and at the end of the week, you can reinvest whatever you made, like to like, say you made like $40, right? So now you're compounding. Now you've got 1,040 in there, right? And you make it on that and you compound week after week after week. And you can create some serious compound growth now with that reinvest button. So shout out to Vortic United for doing that. I think it's a really great, feature, for them to add. So it's cool. And then, guys, I'm going to get to your comments in the chat as soon as I finish up with these comments. Here's one for Peaceful for You. Do not know what you're talking about, but I've been paid today. Novatech is still kicking. Yeah, I mean, so just because you got paid today, I mean, that doesn't negate anything that everybody is saying. I mean, it's just they are still paying. I never said that they're not still paying. It's just this scattergun approach, slow pay. You never know what you're going to get. You never know when you're going to get it. It's not consistent, right? In my mind, that's a huge problem. Maybe not for you, but for me, and I think for a lot of other people, we need to see some consistency. Here's one from the flight file. U.S. is definitely a horrible country to be an investor. Yeah, I mean, it is for crypto investors, right? It's becoming that, right? It's really becoming not very free at all for crypto people. And so we might have a couple years left before they totally legislate it to death, 2 or 3 years. So let's make the most out of the opportunity that we have right now and try to, make as much money in the crypto space as we can. Because what if they outlaw it? You know what I mean? Okay, Johnny mentioned one. This is BS. There are other YouTube vids out there telling us how to get our money back, but who knows if that's a scam? That usually is. I mean, that's what happened with Capital X. Capital X got hacked, and then the hackers were saying, hey, if you pay us $35, we'll get you your money back. So definitely that's a red flag. Anybody charging you money to get your money back from Novatech is most likely that's actually really is a scam, right? So just be careful when it comes to that stuff, guys. That's what a lot of scammers and hackers do. Is they come and swoop down on these platforms and try to charge you a fee to get your crypto back, right? And that's apparently it works, or else they wouldn't be doing it. So just keep your eyes open when it comes to that. Here's one from Richard Isbell. We all want our money back. Not one single person is interested in listening to Cynthia's fake sermons and faith quotes. When people start talking about God and faith and they're doing business with you, you should run for the dough. Where's our money, Cynthia? We want our money back. This woman is literally hiding from everyone, and Dap is a fool and liar, or he's getting paid in the background because he doesn't say anything at all about what's going on with our money. This is why everyone tuned into your channel in the first place. Bad karma to steal from us and run to the Bahamas and hide. Novatech is proving itself by its silence and locking up United States account holders. What a bunch of thieves. You won't get away with this, Novatech. The Justice Department will not tolerate this Ponzi scheme. Scamming people who've worked for years for their money. Shame on you, DAP, and shame on you, Novatech. Well, we know your opinion there. I mean, it's just, you can't say that he didn't give his opinion on that one. All right, here's one from Blue Sky in the chat. Please keep screaming. It's motivating and makes me laugh. You remind me of a wrestling commentator. When I was a kid, I enjoyed Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat. That's right. Woo! Ric Flair, baby. Woo! Bret the Hitman Hart. I agree about Dap. He's not interested in an open, honest exchange, at least not publicly. I tried listening to him on BOJ's Live. He's got no new relevant information, on my opinion. Yeah, they did a good live. Him and BOJ. I listened to that as well. I thought that they stayed on the topic, and Dap definitely stayed on his positivity topic, right, and stayed where he's at. But you got to see. The thing is that they're evolving and they're growing more and more towards towards talking more about these issues, and I think that that's a good thing. They're not completely, they're not as cutthroat with it as I am, but they're starting to talk about it, and I think that that's a good sign because, guys, when DAP starts saying that, hey, we might need to be prepared for this thing to be over, that when somebody like him is saying that, that we're probably coming kind of close to the end. You see what I mean? Right? That's just where I am with it. I appreciate you guys tuning into this live Q&A and a little breakdown on the latest Novatech update that was leaked by Team Diamond. Appreciate all you guys in the chat. Don't forget to check out all my links in the description, including the link to my new trading course. We're going to be coming at you with another video soon here at the Unlimited Freedom Network.